Thanks, Adrian. So, 6 nations are still to negotiate the quarter-finals, but only 3 semi-final spots remain. A night of pure jeopardy for England is about to begin. That opening game defeat to France left the Lionesses feeling like there was a Swiss mountain to climb in the fight to defend their title. How things have since changed. Beat Sweden tonight, and a last 4 tie with Italy feels a tantalising prospect. The route to yet another major final for England has suddenly opened up, but there is no margin for error, no room for complacency. The Lionesses have put themselves right back into contention. Now they've got to show the country that once again they can handle the pressure. Here's the England team, unchanged. Hampton in goal, Bronze, Williamson, Carter and Greenwood, Toon, Walsh and Stanway, James and Hemp either side of Alessia Russo up front. Sweden have Falk in goal, Lundqvist, Bjorn, Eriksson and Andersson, Angeldal, Aslani and Zijotti Olma, Ritten Kaneryd, Blackstenius and Rolfö. It is a lovely evening here in Zurich, in the northeast of Switzerland. The sun still shines high above the stadium here, the floodlights are on, the sky is pristine and clear, and it's warm as the England players go into a huddle ahead of kick-off. Their Sweden counterparts do likewise, and this will be knockout football at its very best. 12 years since England last failed to reach a semi-final at a World Cup or a European Championship. And indeed, such is the nature of knockout football that tonight will either be the catalyst for increasing belief that the Lionesses can go all the way again, or it'll be the start of wondering what might have been. A semi-final against Italy is the prize. This game, we hope, is another step on the road to football coming home again. Sweden against England on TalkSport, and the Swedes in their familiar bright yellow shirts, dark shorts and yellow socks will get us underway. From left to right in the first half, England in the white shirts, royal blue shorts and white socks, playing from right to left. The stadium is packed as both sets of players take the knee, and once again at this tournament the vast majority of the crowd are England supporters. Crosses of St George all around the stadium here. The waiting is over, and England's place in the semi-finals is now officially at stake. Sweden get it underway, and immediately they go long towards the England right. It's headed away by the fullback Lucy Bronze. Fridolina Rolfö there to bring it down for Sweden. England win it back through Lauren James, tracking back deep inside her own half. Bronze for England plays a square pass to the feet of Jess Carter, who nearly gave it away on the edge of the England penalty area. There was no touch from Ritten Kaneryd, and the Swedes have a throw level with the edge of the 18-yard box. On a night like this, former England striker Tash Dowie, that first goal feels so important.
It does, and straight away, poor decision there by England, really edgy, square ball within seconds of the game, and you don't want that as a player. You want to have a good start, and Carter, that's not what she wants. She'll be wanting to get on the ball straight away and put that right.
Well, this is England's youngest average starting 11 in a Euros knockout game since losing the 2009 final to Germany. Of course, 2022 winners England, and hoping to become the first senior England side ever to win a major tournament overseas. That is the challenge that lies ahead, and Sweden here in the quarters, their toughest test so far. 0-0 in the opening couple of minutes on TalkSport. Bronze tries to poke it through the middle for England towards Russo, but Magda Eriksson was there, the Sweden captain. Now they can break with Rolfö. High ball up the England right, the Sweden inside left, and Williamson will let it trickle behind for a goal kick to England. Fascinating hearing from Leah Williamson a couple of days to go, and we know that she expects a very tough aerial battle against her club teammate Stina Blackstenius tonight.
Yeah, she does. For 90 minutes plus, they're going to have to keep switched on. And again, Carter losing the ball.
And Walsh has given it away. Blackstenius on the edge of the D, and Aslani, the captain, is in, and she buries it. And England are punished. Jess Carter raises the arm in apology. Walsh didn't cover herself in glory as well, and it is the worst possible start for England. What a mess at the back. And Aslani deadly with the finish across Hampton inside the second minute. England haven't woken up yet. Sweden 1, England 0.
Well, I talked about the nerves, and straight away, first action of Jess Carter, square ball, gives it away, gets on it again, and I just don't see what she's seeing here. You know, it's so important first 5-10 minutes. You know, England were going long, they weren't playing out. They decided to go short there to Carter, and this is why I highlighted her as a Lauren James of this Swedish team. Asllani is so good. You give her that opportunity, she is not going to miss. Nightmare of a start for England, the perfect start for Sweden.
And Swedish revenge for 2022, that semi-final is on. There's a long way to go, but the Lionesses could hardly have imagined a worse start to the game. That goal was a defensive nightmare, and Sweden are 1-0 up, and that goal coming inside 2 minutes from Kosovari Asllani, the very confident, very experienced Sweden captain, their number 9. England think they've won it back half the pitch, but they've conceded a free kick. Let's go behind the goal now, take you pitch side to our England reporter Courtney Sweetman-Kirk, who had a great view of that. What a mess from an England perspective though, Courtney.
Yeah, it was a mess from their perspective, but I want to talk about Asllani and her body shape in the press. It was so intelligent, the way that she cuts off the other side of the pitch, and she just gets a little nick on the ball as it's played, and that obviously helps Sweden to go on the counter-attack after that. In terms of her quality on the ball in that position, you know that she's going to be calm, composed, great shot across the goalkeeper, but it starts from that press that I was really impressed with the body shape from her.
So the Swedes, who impressed in the group stages, 4 goals they scored here on this ground, the Stadion Letzigrund in Zurich against Germany in their final group game. And yes, there is quality in terms of the way that they finished it, absolutely right, but it's quite simply a goal that Jess Carter nor Kira Walsh will want to look back. And again, and Hampton has lost out to Blackstenius inside the area. Williamson gets back, slides in and clears. England need to get a grip. Hampton lost it on the edge of the penalty area, and England are in danger of losing this quarter-final in the opening minutes. It's a corner to Sweden, who are all over the Lionesses.
Yeah, they're really shaky at the moment. Jess Carter again fizzes the ball back to Hampton. A little bit too much in my opinion, but Hampton's normally so calm and composed in those situations. But again, a heavy touch. We talk about it, negative passes having a negative effect, and it's having it on this England team.
Well, this quite in contrast to the starts in the games against Netherlands and Wales that got England to this stage. 1-0 down already, it should be 2. Brilliant clearance by Williamson. That was a goal-saving, lunging challenge. And Blackstenius will feel disappointed. She hasn't put Sweden 2 to the good already in this quarter-final. 5 got on TalkSport. Sweden 1, England 0.
Yeah, I can see Leah Williamson as well having a word with Jess Carter, just saying, look, come on. Like, she talked about leading as a captain, you know, inside, but actually verbally sometimes players just need. Yeah, that's a foul there as well. Don't know how the referee hasn't given that. Oh, she has given that. Good choice. But Joe, it's really interesting, Joe, as well, watching this. And again, this is absolutely going to be the case, especially with the start England have. That England aren't playing short. Every time they've had the ball with Hampton, they tend to go long, and that really surprises me because England are a team that like to play short and possess, but I think they're so shaken that they're almost scared to get the ball down and play right now.
1-0 down England, but here comes Stanway down the left wing position on the near side. She's by the corner flag at the Sweden end, rolls the ball infield to Kira Walsh inside the area. It's come to head with a shot, tipped onto the bar. Brilliant save by Falk, the goalkeeper. That's why she's been the best of the tournament so far. James crosses for England from the right, headed away, and England have responded now. Hemp so close, edge of the area for England is 2. The chance isn't gone just yet. Eventually Lundqvist clears, and now Sweden in transition can break. Asllani over the halfway line to Blackstenius. This is just like the start of the Sweden-Germany game in the last match of the group stages for the team in yellow. Here they come again. Blackstenius inside right, into the penalty area now, whips the ball across, nobody's there. And this is a very nervous watch if you are the England boss, Sarina Wiegman, though they were so close to getting level straight away.
Yeah, they were very close to making it 1-1, but this is why I was nervous going into this game, because they're playing like the French team did, and we really struggled against that. You know, England are a team that like to possess the ball, but also the Alex Green was a Lucy Bronze like to bomb on. But for me, I talked about that protection. Kira Walsh has to protect, but is she mobile enough, in my opinion, to protect with the legs of an Asllani, a Blackstenius, a Writing Canary, a Rolfo? The transition is so fast, and in my opinion, I don't think we've got the mobility in that back line, in that midfield, to be able to deal with that.
What a save it was from Jennifer Falk to keep Sweden 1-0 up, and Sweden breaking again. They look dangerous every time they come forward. On the left is Rolfö, very experienced player, just left Barcelona in the summer. Back it goes from Anderson to Eriksson, green boots on, the former Chelsea captain, and now Falk all in red away to the left-hand side, denying Lauren Hent a second goal in as many games at these European Championships. But there is little doubt that Sweden in the first 7.5 minutes have been much the better team, and in knockout football, of course, England don't have long to reassert themselves. Unbeaten this year, Sweden. In fact, they've not lost since the 12th of July last year, when they were beaten by France in Euros qualifying. Of course, they twice played England in the group. Both matches ended in draws. Now the ball is out of play for a Sweden pro in their right-wing position, and Sweden have come to play.
They have come to play, and the problem as well with pace, like I noticed with England, they've dropped really deep, and actually then Russo's up front quite isolated on her own, not being able to put pressure on that back line to stop the supply line, which is what we've spoken about that England had to do, because they're so scared of the pacing behind and the willing runners.
1 minute and 44 seconds, that Sweden goal, and Aslani's 50th for her country in her 203rd Sweden appearance. And memories for England of the free-flowing football that we saw against the Dutch and the Welsh have quite quickly already started to feel like a long time ago. England yet to really get themselves on the ball in the game, yet to assert themselves, and Sarina Wiegman was talking about possession being key. Good work by Stanway to tear towards the left, and she wins a throw in front of that very long England dugout. Big gap between the stands and the pitch because of the running track. The one saving grace, I think, former England striker Tash Dowie, is that there's a long way to go. There's a long amount of time to play.
Yeah, there absolutely is, and sometimes you say, when you score too early, sometimes it's good or a bad thing. I think England have actually, the last probably few minutes, settled into the game a little bit more now, and I think it's really important that they have their moment and they have their spell and get key players on the ball. I don't even think Lauren James has touched the ball yet, so that's a problem in itself.
Got the England players' families in front of us in the stands here to the right of the halfway line. It's a who's who really of England and European football, with Miedemar among the interested spectators down below us. Here comes Sweden with Rolfö in the centre circle. She chips the ball out to the left-hand side. Blackstenius is there, peeling away from Williamson. Now Toon is tracking back for England. The ball goes back to Anderson near the corner of the penalty area. That's a really poor pass, bobbling in field. Bronze there to put it back. She nudges it to the right towards James, but Eriksson beats James to it easily and knocks it into touch. A chastening first 10 minutes for England. Live on TalkSport in the quarter-final of the Euros, behind by a goal to them.
Yeah, and I think that's the big difference there. You see where Lucy Bronze wins the ball and she wants to counter quickly, but you also have to recognise your players. We haven't got those type of players. Maybe a Hemp, but she's also someone who likes to penetrate with the ball at her feet. A Russo wants to come to feet. A James wants to come to feet. So that's why I think it's so important that England focus on what their strengths are, which is possessing the ball, having third-man runs from Toon, and then building into the game that way.
Well, they have got a throw out on the far side, the England right, as the sun's still very much yet to set here in Zurich. The floodlights are on above the stadium. Holds just over 22,000. Sarina Wiegman was standing on the edge of the technical area. She's now gone back to the dugout to speak to the assistant, Arjan Verink. England with Greenwood. Angled ball down the left-hand side. It's towards Stanway, and the defender, Bjorn, nearly got into a tangle there. Chelsea Players Player of the Year, the Sweden centre-half Natalie Bjorn, and she has won a free kick off Stanway. It's really important, you feel here, Tash Dowie, that England don't panic.
No, they don't panic, and they won't. That's definitely would have shaken them, absolutely. But straight away when Carter made the mistake, hands up, was the first one to go and grab the ball. Right, let's restart. It's like a striker, missing a key opportunity. That's probably the hard thing about being a centre-half and a goalie. One mistake, you get punished. A striker, you can miss 4 or 5, score the one goal, and you're the hero. So it's a really tough mental position, but Carter will be strong enough to mentally recover from this, I'm sure.
The winners will face Italy in Geneva in the semi-finals, of course. We hope England get there, and if they do, that game will be live on TalkSport. Commentary tomorrow of the third quarter-final. Spain against Switzerland is on TalkSport 2. France against Germany is on Sunday. Make sure you download our app to be across all the very latest in the tournament as it happens. And of course, it will be your home of the EFL and the Premier League once the season gets underway in just a couple of weeks or so's time. Header away by Eriksson. It's actually spun back towards our own penalty area. Anderson is there for Sweden to roll it back to goalkeeper Falk. 12 minutes played in England are 1-0 down. James for England pokes it back to Ella Toon. James gets the return pass, shimmies infield. Is she going to have to go back to the halfway line here? She's got Carter 10 yards behind her, goes square to Greenwood instead.
Yeah, I think just that set up there from the goal kick, Joe, I'm finding that fascinating. When do England ever go long ball from a goal kick? Ever. They always want to play out. They always want to possess the ball. So I think for me, whether that's a tactic, whether or not it was still 0-0 and they would be doing this, but I don't like that. You know, just because we're 1-0 down, let's not change what our strengths are. Our strengths are with ball players. I don't want to see us going long, you know, and trying to compete, because that's not our strength. So I hope that changes.
England have only ever lost once at the Euros under Sarina Wiegman. That was in the group stages against France on this ground. Refereed very late to give a free kick to Sweden for a foul on Lundqvist by Hemp. Hemp had carried on after Stanway picked up possession for England, and then it was almost as though the appeals seemed to sway the referee, and so a Sweden free kick on the halfway line. They lead 1-0 on Women's Euro 2025 live on TalkSport McDonald's. Try the big arch now. Header away by Jess Carter for England. That Sweden free kick comes to nothing. Now Stanway knocks the ball down to 2. It does feel like England are settling into the game now. James in the centre circle. It's taken them 13 and a half minutes to really feel at home. Lovely football by James, and then Walsh steers the ball on the angle to the wide right position. Bronze with a very early cross. High towards Hemp. Punched away by the goalkeeper. Good goalkeeping by Falk. And Hemp has actually been penalised here for catching the goalkeeper, but Sweden's Falk has excelled throughout the tournament, and she's certainly excelled so far tonight.
Yeah, I think it's brave by both players. I think Falk, that's what a keeper needs to do. It's actually a decent ball in by Lucy Bronze. It's kind of hanging in that 50-50 where the keeper just needs to come. And whether she takes her own player, in this incident she takes Hemp, but I think it's the correct decision. That's where keepers are probably protected a little bit more there in those situations.
Tash Dowie, former England striker, with us. Remember 2022 at this stage? England were 1-0 down to Spain in the quarters. They came back to win 2-1. So there is still plenty of hope. Ball forward from Angeldal is charged down by Hemp. They used to play together at Manchester City. Angeldal now at Real Madrid. Bjorn down by the Sweden corner flag, being forced towards the touchline by Russo. Better from England as the decision of the throw goes Sweden's way in their right back spot. Will England live to regret that oh so sloppy opening to the game?
Let's hope not. You know, you don't want any important game to be won on a mistake. And there's a lot of, and I love these kind of games. You know, for me as a player, tactically, two teams that are playing such completely different contrasting styles of football. You know, it really is the kind of counter-attacking style versus that possession-based team. And for me, I find it fascinating. You know, cat and mouse. You know, Lucy Bronze wants to get forward, but she also knows the threat of Rolfo in behind. Same with Greenwood. You know, but who's brave enough to play the way that they play?
Here is Carter, halfway line for England. Carter back to Hampton, and in fairness to Carter, she's been outstanding in the previous two matches, but it's her mistake, and Walsh not covering herself in glory either for the only goal of the game so far. Carter's long high ball towards the left, the flick by Hemp, and Greenwood's on the overlap. She took it down well, charged down by Lundqvist, and that will be, the throw's gone Sweden's way in the end. Sweden 1, England 0.
Yeah, but even then when Carter's on the ball, you know, there's no options for her but to go long.
16 minutes gone, and Stanway's missed a challenge on the halfway line, and Richard Cannerid is running at Carter. Carter gets a half tackle in, but Richard Cannerid could still get there by the dead ball line. She wanted to let it trickle out for a corner. Carter raced back. Richard Cannerid has had to keep it in play. Level the edge of the 18-yard box now. She pokes it back to Zijotti Olma. Lovely ball by Angeldal. Richard Cannerid crosses, rolled for back post, cleared away. Good interception by Bronze. Now Aslani on the edge of the D. Anderson tries a shot, that's charged down by James. Forward by Eriksson. That's going to take one bounce and be gathered by Hannah Hampton. Superb interplay from the Swedes. They are a team in form, and they are a team determined to knock England off their perch tonight.
Well, they spoke about the perfect game plan, and they've done that so far. I think it was quite obvious the areas that they were going to target, which was the full-back areas, which England struggled with against France. They're creating these 2v1 situations in wide areas, and they're getting a lot of joy. You know, most crosses in this Euros, we know how good Black Sinius is in the box, and it's working very well.
Well, in terms of numbers, the England fans have the vast majority of the crowd, but it's the Sweden fans who are singing. Sweden playing from left to right here. Blackstenius down the left-hand side. Across comes Williamson, winning that individual battle for the most part so far, at least. Williamson holds it up, plays a clever back heel off the leg of Blackstenius, and it's an England throw in the right-back position. Lucy Bronze was shouting something towards Jess Carter there.
Yeah, absolutely. Not even Jess Carter. I think it's the midfield right now. I think they're hiding. You know, Walsh is someone that normally demands the ball, even under high pressure. Same with Stanway and Toon. But for me, the midfield are losing that battle at the moment. They need to be more of an option.
Angeldal has rolled the ball through the legs of Russo, but straight out of play. England throw on the far side there right. These are familiar surroundings in Zurich for England. Zurich is where they are based and where they hopefully will continue to be based after tonight. The semi-final in Geneva would be against Italy, but England have got a lot of work to do to turn it around. At the moment they're heading out, 1-0 down. 18 minutes played, Stanway wins a throw in front of the Sweden technical area. Ominously, Sweden unbeaten in their last 17 games at the Euros when they've scored first. They haven't lost in that position in a Euros match since 2001. But records are there to be broken.
Yeah, well, we talked about the first goal being the most important, and for me, I think it was. They've got something to hold on to now, and they've got so much experience. And I talked about them being the bridesmaid. I looked through their stats in major tournaments and how close they've become, and the heartbreak time after time that they've felt. And I've said maybe this is their year.
Flicked by Bronze down to England right after an excellent ball by Hampton, the goalkeeper, and it's gone out of play for a corner. James and Bronze working in tandem. England's first corner of the game on the far side of the field as they seek an equaliser.
Yeah, really good play there, and I think this is important. You know, I fancy us in the air against Sweden. We've got some good players in the air. You know, we know how good the delivery is as well of Lauren James, and that's something that we need to get her into the game more. And I think that's down to herself as well to try and get herself into the game more.
Williamson, Bronze and Greenwood are among those forward here for England. Corner on the far side of the field is going to be taken by Lauren James. It'll be right-footed and out-swinging. James has had an outstanding tournament. Short ball to Hemp. Hemp from the right edge of the penalty area. Back to James again. They're trying to work an angle for a better cross here from James on the left foot. She tries to dart infield. She's blocked off by Aslani. Aslani, the game's outstanding player so far. She was full of confidence in the pre-match press conference, and that confidence so far has been shown on the field. That England corner comes to nothing.
I think Adrian made a great point before the game as well about the drop or the difference between playing against a Wales and then having to come up against this team. I think it's shown right now, and Lauren James can get away with doing stuff like that against a Wales, but I'm telling you now, she can't get away with it against this Sweden team.
England's sternest test so far. They have a throw just inside Sweden territory. On the far side the right, former England striker Tash Dowie with us for commentary. Walsh with a big diagonal ball for England. It's taken a big deflection and it's intercepted by Angeldal, who loses out to Toon. Stanway towards the edge of the D. Rolls it left to Lauren Hemp. Two in the middle for England. Hemp one-on-one with the defender. Dinks in the cross to the far post. It just evades the goalkeeper, who seemed to be unsure of her position. And in the end, it has drifted behind for a goal kick.
But that's what England need to do more. And I said it, how's the game going to be won? It's going to be won out wide for both teams. So who's going to have the most success? So far Sweden have, but if you can get a Lauren James 1v1 and a Hemp 1v1, you're going to get joy. And my question then, that's a great ball. Where's the runners? You know, why is there not someone back post heading that in? It's a tap-in. It's a great ball in by Lauren Hemp. Now they need more desire to get in the box.
Tash Dowie, a former number 9, knows what it's like to put on the shirt of the Lionesses. Scored plenty today in the media match before the game. Not sure the crowd was quite as big there. Heavy back pass from Bronze to Hannah Hampton, the England goalkeeper, all in green. Well, if you were nervous before the game, how are you feeling now? England 1-0 down. Hampton's long ball down the middle of Aids Russo. And England are not showing enough bravery and conviction in their play. The Swedes are the opposite. Here they come again with Aslani. Down the right-hand side, and it's on the overlapping run. Ritting Kannerit to cross, takes a deflection off Greenwood, cleared away by the retreating Walsh inside the England penalty area. Toon tries to feed it forward. She's blocked off. Forward now by Anderson down the Sweden left. That'll drop to Lucy Bronze. Anderson not the best in possession, the Sweden left back. Bronze over the halfway line, looks for Russo again with a firm ball. Eriksson was in the way. Then Bronze, I thought, won the 50-50 on the halfway line, but she caught Zidjoti Olma, the former Brighton midfielder, and Sweden have got the free kick on halfway.
Yeah, to be honest, I'm really not liking the way that England are playing. It's making me nervous, going long all the time, direct from the goal kick, not winning those 50-50s. Then Lucy Bronze there as well. I think, the frustration, Rousseau's isolated up front on her own. It's giving me flashbacks, to be honest, to the French game. I think something needs to change. I don't know why England are playing the way that they're playing. For me, one goal can't make you change your whole playing style, your whole philosophy. Serena Wiegman always says about wanting to possess the ball more. They're not doing that.
Courtney Sweetman-Kirk, our England reporter, behind the goal in front of the England fans. Courtney, what do you make of what Tash Dowie has just had to say?
Yeah, totally agree. I think that the long balls aren't working. I think actually in the warm-up I was looking at Hannah Hampton, and normally the way she's spraying balls out to Kiara Keaton and Anna Morehouse, and she constantly was, normally hits the target. She did in the sort of the last 3 games, but a distribution in the warm-up certainly was off, and I think you can see that's then gone into the game. She's looking a little bit nervy on the ball, so it doesn't bode well so far. England need to find that attitude again, to be able to come out of it and change the momentum, unlike they did against France. They need to find a way, England.
Halfway through the first half of the quarter-final, Sweden 1, England 0. England heading home. Long from Eriksson, it's towards Blackstenius, cleared away by Georgia Stanway. Skywards up to halfway. Rousseau brings it down well. She's a little isolated initially, but she has tried to roll the ball through the middle from the right towards James, who wasn't quick enough on the uptake. Back goes Sweden to goalkeeper Falk, and now Eriksson's touch clever out to the left-back position on the far side. Anderson in bright yellow. A lot of Sweden fans behind the goal to the left-hand side in the familiar yellow and blue. Flicked by Rolfer over halfway. Williamson is there to win it back for England again. Of course, England with plenty of game changers, finishers they call themselves, on the bench. Arguably more options to change things than Sweden, and so far it's just as well. Bjorn clears away for Sweden, up towards the midway point of her own half. Stanway's there to control in front of the Sweden dugout. Back now to Alex Greenwood, England's number 5. Here's Carter. England just trying to put passes together.
Yeah, I think the problem is England know where the weaknesses are for Sweden, and it absolutely is their back line in those wide areas, the full-back areas, but it's how they're getting there. It's almost like they talked about that urgency, but they're forcing balls to try and get into those situations. They need to play through the thirds and then create those overloads like this, great pockets like that.
Carter to Stanway, and then Stanway over halfway. It was about a 15-yard ball threaded up the left to Hemp, and it was overhit and behind Hemp as well. This from England is not going to get it done. 1-0 down. Hemp in front of the Sweden boss Peter Gerhardt, who's actually leading after the tournament, has given it away, and now the early ball down the inside right. That's the ball for Blackstenius. She's racing into the area. She's clear on goal. It's 2. Stina Blackstenius scores for Sweden, and are England going to be knocked off their Euros perch tonight? It's another desperate moment defensively. They gave the ball away, and then the pass to Blackstenius. She just loves that inside right channel beyond Jess Carter, racing into the air at an angle, and from inside the 6-yard box she's tucked it beyond Hampton. An England inquest going on in the middle of the field of play. They're heading out to the tournament as it stands. Sweden 2, the Lionesses 0.
I mean, I can't quite believe what I'm watching. I mean, they know how Sweden play. They've done their homework, I'm sure. But the way this England team are playing right now, they're playing to Sweden's strengths. Long ball, giving the ball away, everyone spread out, our position, that is what Sweden want. Then they get the turnover. But for me, just watching that, absolutely a great run off the back shoulder of Carter. That's what they've been planning to do. But then I talk about supporting your teammates. Why is Leah Williamson not coming over to go and press? Blackstenius is the threat. Instead, she's just standing there. It blows my mind that the decision making at this kind of level is so basic from England right now.
For all of the renewed hope and anticipation, this is a miserable night for England so far. 26 minutes gone at 2-0 down. How ironic that 2 of the players who play their club football in England, Aslani of London City and the Champions League winner with Arsenal Blackstenius, are the 2 who have scored. High ball downfield by Hampton for England. It's going to bounce out of play for a goal kick, is it? Lucy Bronze thinks she's kept it in. Goal kick given, and England need a rethink. England need a reset, and quickly.
Well, we talked about the finishers. those finishers might be coming on a lot quicker than we all expected. Put it that way. I'm looking down now at the bench, players warming up, players in discussions, and if things don't change, then I'd be making changes.
Oh, you're absolutely right, Tash Dowie. A host of England players warming up on the near side touchline in front of us on a night where England have fallen far short so far of the standards that they set in the 2 games leading into this. Lauren James wins it back on the halfway line, and now here's Russo through the centre, square to Stanway, towards Toon with the forward pass, Toon into the area, shot blocked by Eriksson. Better from England, and Toon denied by the very experienced Sweden captain.
You know, even there though, and I'm looking at it, I mean, the break's on again. It's just so transitional right now, and that suits Sweden more.
Carter slides in to win it off Blackstenius. Now Russo with her back to goal. 40 yards out dead centre. Wide left on the near side is Hemp. And on her outside is Greenwood, but England had to slow the play, and they go back to the halfway line. Rarely do you see a team go into a huddle midway through the first half after conceding a second goal, but in England's case, feels like it was needed. Leah Williamson taking charge of that huddle and trying to get some messages across, but England are trailing, and deservedly so. Bronze infield from the right towards Toon. It's poor, she can't bring it down on the stretch. This is, you would think, the biggest single test that England have faced in a major tournament game under Sarina Wiegman, and I say that because to come back in a quarter-final from 2 goals down against the team ranked 6th in the world is a task that I don't think any team in European football would relish.
Yeah, absolutely, and Sweden will not want to feel the heartbreak that they've felt so many times. And like I said earlier, the blend that they've created in this team now of the youth coming through, but also those players that have felt the heartbreak time and time again and never want to experience that again, and they've put themselves in a great position.
It'll be Sweden against Italy next Tuesday as it stands. England are going to have to produce something special. Hampton, they're 2-0 down. Hampton, the goalkeeper, finds Williamson. This is live on TalkSport.
The problem as well, Joe, is the options. Look here when Leah Williamson's on the ball. She's forcing it long, but then they're doubling up, and now we're on attack again.
Kira Walsh's touch was not good enough there. Early ball down the middle from Aslani. Sweden wastes the opportunity, and it's through to Hampton again. And this is the brutal reality of knockout football laid bare, Tash Dowie. You don't get second chances.
No, you don't. And what I'm noticing as well, it's man for man in midfield. You see here, Ziyuki is following Stanway everywhere. Aslani sitting on Walsh to stop her getting on the ball. So all the back four have no options but to go long. That's why Hannah Hampton's forcing it long. But even when they get the ball, where are the options here? They're having to go back to the keeper. There's so many limited options because of the way that Sweden are going man for man and pressing this England team.
4 they scored against Netherlands on this ground, 6 against Wales in St Gallen. England need 3. And at least 2, of course, to level the match. 2-0 down. Toon out on the left-hand side, trying to dribble beyond Lundqvist, who sticks out a right foot and wins it back in the right back position with good authority. Wins a throw off Stanway, and the Sweden head coach, Peter Gerhardsson, applauds.
And I think as well, that's why pace is such a weapon at international level, because England don't have the options right now, but the problem is they don't have that plan B to just go long and have a runner like a Blackstenius, like a Rolfo, like a Rytting Kaneryd, whereas Sweden can. They can possess the ball, but actually if they are under pressure, they can hit the channel and they know they've got those runners. England don't have that.
Long throw from Lundqvist over halfway. Blackstenius tries to bring it down right in front of Sarina Wiegman. Blackstenius has got her goal. England fans were wary, nervy about her presence in the side in the build-up to this game, and Blackstenius now with 3 goals at the tournament, 2 on the night for Sweden, and the Lionesses are 2-0 behind. There, the retainment of the Euros crowd under threat. Greenwood low looks for Hemp, inside left, foot in from Lundqvist. That's a corner. If she'd mistimed that, it would have been an England penalty.
Well, that's better, Joe, and what I mean by that is the way that we progress the ball up the pitch. We're not forcing it, we're progressing it up into good areas. Then you can have a Hemp, a 2 making those third man runs into the pockets, where that is the weakness for Sweden. But that's where we can afford to go a bit more direct, but when we're higher up the pitch, not when we're in our own half.
Lauren Hemp is going to take the corner. It'll be left-footed and out swinging. Skies darker now. Everybody back for Sweden actually, and almost everyone forward for England. Only Carter is outside the penalty area. Hemp delivers high. towards the edge of the 6-yard box, beyond Lucy Bronze, who's the closest to it. It's come back to Carter, who just scoops it into the area, miles over here. One bounce on the dead ball line and behind.
I mean, it's a bad night for Carter so far. You know, she's putting her hands up again to apologise. She's shaking her head. And we talk about it, players can have bad days at the office, but this is a big game, and right now, you know, her performance hasn't been up to scratch. And again, this is where I want to see her teammates getting around her. When you know a teammate is having a bad night, that's when you have to up your game a little bit more and help them out.
Bronze on the halfway line for England, out on the right-hand side. Threads a clever ball forward to Toon, who tried to tuck it further up the pitch to Russo, smuggled away by Eriksson and out of play. And Sweden have defended very well so far in large part. Over half an hour gone on Talk Sport, and they lead 2-0. A very early goal from Aslani after Carter's dreadful mistake, and Blackstenius doubling the lead on the break for Sweden. So it really is a titanic task for the Lionesses. Down the right goes James by the corner flag, swings in the cross to the back post. Hemp's flick, Russo trying to get there, out-muscled by Bjorn, and it's through to Falk.
Yeah, I think the Swedish team, they're tacticians. You know, they love this kind of challenge of actually tactically winning the battle, and they've done that so far. I was fascinated to see when they said they had the perfect game plan, what that would be. But this is it, man for man. You know, it doesn't take common sense. You mark a Lauren James out of the game, a Kira Walsh, then that's a big part of England's game out of the game, and they've done that so far. James hasn't been able to get in the game. They've been doubling up, tripling up on her. Same with Walsh, and they haven't then been able to get their key players into the game.
Greenwood to take an England throw, level with the edge of the penalty area, near side the left, return pass from Toon. Greenwood manages to squeeze the ball back in field to Toon again. That was clever from the England left back. Toon square to Stanway. Stanway's layoff backwards is poor. And Toon really looks like the England player who can make things happen in the game so far, but she's not getting a lot of support. England are losing the midfield battle at the moment. Richard Callery, high long ball straight up the middle. Rolfers after it. Out comes Hampton belatedly. The England defence split by a long ball from the back. Rolfer was just about held off by Bronze, and then Hampton out to thump it clear.
Well, it's great goalkeeping firstly, but I said it, that's the difference. Right back, under pressure, England pressing high, one big long ball, and you have willing runners, and it's a half chance that they create.
Well, there hasn't really been any response from England, aside from Hemp's effort, excellent effort, that was tipped onto the bar by the goalkeeper shortly after they'd gone 1-0 down. But it has been a very quiet night in front of goal, that aside for the Lionesses. They've scored plenty across this tournament so far, but they really need to find their shooting boots. 10 minutes to go in the first half, plus whatever's added on. Kira Walsh, England's number 4. High ball up the middle towards Russo. She's chasing. Can she beat Bjorn to it? Bjorn comes across. Russo still battling. Bjorn knocks it out of play. Really good play from Alessia Russo. Yeah,
that's better by Russo. And even if she doesn't win that ball or get there first, she then wins possession higher up the pitch.
James in a crossing position down the right. Turns away from Zijotti, then back onto the left. Prods it into the feet of Walsh. Now Bronze further wide on that far side for England. Opportunity for Toon to whip it in. And it's overhit. Hemp will do well to keep it in at the opposite corner flag, and she has done brilliantly, but momentum took her off the pitch and almost into the advertising hoarding. Sweden get it away. Stanway has forced the ball off Richard Callery into touch for an England throw. Greenwood in front of the dugout, the Sweden dugout. Forward to Russo on the near side of the left. Now Hemp can charge forward into space. Only James in the middle. It's lofted high. Lauren James can't get underneath it. Eriksson heads clear. And England can't quite test the goalkeeper again. Sweden now look to break over the halfway line with Angeldal. He's carried it into England territory. Early ball again, down the inside right, and again Carter struggling against Blackstenius. This time she gets back well on the cover and plays it back to Hampton.
Yeah, much better Jess Carter. And they say that no pressure on the ball, you have to drop. Pressure on the ball, you can then look to squeeze high and get tighter. So there's no pressure on the ball. Blackstenius is running. She's given herself a couple of yards there, and that's good defending. That's what she should have done for the other goal.
James, centre circle, square ball to Toon. She's got Russo making the run ahead of her. Pass is cut out. Toon goes wide. Hemp near the corner of the box. This is a little better from England. 9 minutes of the first half to go. Hemp turns infield and absolutely clattered into by Lundqvist. And that is an England free kick. In a dangerous position, but they remain 2-0 down.
Yeah, and the crowd are booing. But to be honest, this is what you do against the best players. And yeah, it is absolutely a foul, and it's nasty play. But when I talk about Sweden having that competitive edge, do or die, whatever it takes, she knows 1v1 there, she's done. So she's going to take the foul, she's going to take the hit.
It's a terrible challenge from Lundqvist.
Yeah, it is. You know, it is. And I mean, I come from an era where it's a little bit more old school. So for me, that's not kind of a terrible foul with regards to that. Happened a lot. I hope Lauren Hemp's okay. It's definitely a head injury. You know, I'd be very surprised if she gets away with not getting a booking here. In my opinion, that is a yellow card because of it being contact to the head. But that's their game plan, you know, and I know it might sound wrong or right, but to take the big players out of the game, and that's Hemp and James.
We've got replays on our monitor in the commentary position here. I think that's an appalling challenge from Lundqvist. Catches her actually with the elbow in the end.
I mean, if a ref looks at that back, you know, she definitely does lead with the elbow there, and the elbow's high. So I'd be very surprised if that isn't VAR'd and potentially looked at.
Well, I don't think it is being at the moment. Certainly no confirmation for us that there is a VAR check on any of the screens that we got in front of us. And actually Sarina Wiegman she's not talking to the fourth official. England are going to make sure that Lauren Hemp is treated. 2 physios on the pitch. Hemp is sitting up now. Lots of England subs warming up, and that is, we mentioned it throughout the tournament again, the big half-time question for Sarina Wiegman. Does she make changes in a game of such jeopardy for England where there is no time to lose? Hemp back on her feet ahead of this free kick.
Yeah, it's good to see, and I think that is a big question because in the past the game hasn't been 2-0. You know, maybe they've been in control of the game or there's been 1 goal in it where they still feel like they're in it. Whereas now 2-0, you do expect changes are going to have to be made if things don't improve.
Well, Greenwood standing over the free kick. Excellent left foot, of course, the left back. It's about 10 yards from the corner of the penalty area near side. Greenwood fizzes it into the box, only half away, drops towards Lauren James on the edge of the D, tries to place it, deflected twice, hooked away by Angeldal. Now Greenwood again, darts infield towards the edge of the penalty area, tackle from Angeldal and steered out of play by Lundqvist. England are looking a little stronger here, certainly in terms of territory, but it's still Sweden 2, England 0 on TalkSport in the quarter-final. Walsh, 25 yards out, left of centre. Plays the ball forward to the corner of the box. Ella Tood pokes it in towards Hemp on the underlap, cuts it back. Who's going to get there for England? Nobody! Cleared away by Sweden.
That's frustrating. That's so frustrating. Again, working it really well down this left-hand side here. Hemp's definitely building into the game. But why are we not on the end of that, Joe? It's a beautiful cutback. How are Sweden first to that? We're 2-0 down. We need to have more desire and players have to, you know, be the one that's going to be that game changer.
Channel ball from Williamson, brought down by Russo. In front of the corner flag on the near side, the left. England fans chanting the name of Sarina Wiegman. But this has been a very disappointing first half from England at this point. 5 minutes of it to go. Stanway left-hand channel. Darts beyond Angeldal. Deflected cross is hooked away by Bjorn. High up into that ever-darkening sky. England throw.
They're going to have to do a bit more than this, Joe. Sweden will lap this up all day long. They don't have a problem with defending crosses. They enjoy that. That's their strength.
Russo, dead ball line, fizzes it into the back post. It's overhit. It bounced up for Russo. She was actually close to the goal, but an impossible angle to shoot. And overhit the cross. Bronze couldn't get there. And you struggle to think of any England player that has performed anywhere near their potential in the game so far. And all the worry for England before this quarter-final was that if they don't, Sweden are just the type of team to take full advantage, and that they have done.
Yeah, and I said it before the game. If England play at their best and Sweden play at their best, England go through. But Sweden have played out their best and England haven't. So right now it looks like Sweden are going through. Sweden are a top team, and they spoke about it, how calm they were in the press conference. That kind of little bit of confidence but arrogance about them. Almost offended that people haven't taken them more seriously with how well they've done in past tournaments.
Bronze and James lose out just shy of the halfway line, and Sweden counter again. And a hit pass from Angeldal as Jyoti Olma rather is chasing down Walsh, and she's trying to wiggle away from her. Walsh is just about winning that battle, turns away from Jyoti Olma and draws the foul in the England right back position. But there is a real threat about Sweden every time they come forward, and these balls up the inside left and inside right, that's what Sweden have done all tournament. England are not able to cope with it at times. Hemp suddenly races in field for England. Now Stanway 40 yards out, dead centre. Pokes it square to 2. Back out wide to Greenwood on the near side, the left. England looking for a goal to get themselves back in the tie. The semi-final spot against Italy is at stake. So far, England going home. Long from Williamson, header away by Jonna Andersson. It bounces down out on the Sweden left. Rolfö will play it back to Eriksson. High, long ball, first time downfield, not the best. Sliced out of play for a throw. 2-0 Sweden.
Yeah, I'm also seeing the likes of Lauren James drifting now into more central positions in that number 10. And for me, actually, that's not a great sign because it shows that she's frustrated. You know, that she's not getting the ball out wide, and I think that foul there shows the frustration on her face. You know, she's someone that wants to impact this game, and she's had very little of the ball.
And it's the Sweden fans who are making all the noise. You can actually see the relatives of some of the Sweden players away to the left in front of the, or just behind the Sweden dugout, who are waving blue and yellow flags. The vast majority of the crowd here at the Letzigrund are silent and shocked, the England fans, no doubt, by what they've seen so far. 2.5 minutes of normal time remaining in the first half to go. And it is England 2-0 down. Forward from Greenwood, out to Hemp in front of the England dugout. Hemp tries to peel away down the left-hand side, but she's giving it away to Angeldal. Sweden on the counter. Aslani, the captain. On the overlap is Ritten Kaneryd. Ritten Kaneryd tries across, deflects off Greenwood. Comes back to Ritten Kaneryd again. And her square ball is behind the onrushing Angeldal, who couldn't time her run well enough. England looked to break. Rousseau's given it away. There was a collision between Rousseau and Ritten Kaneryd, and actually the referee has pulled the play back. And the referee tonight, Marta Huerta de Aza of Spain, and it's a free kick to England. And Williamson has belted that up the middle. It could bounce nicely for two, but a little too much on it. One bounce and through to goalkeeper Falk again.
Yeah, you could see the idea there. Was it the right idea? I'm not too sure. It shows a little bit of positivity. Do you know as well that it's what's so fascinating about this game is that not just the nations that have come up against each other so much, but just how well these sets of players know each other. And I think in itself, that's always a fascinating thing, you know, playing together at club level. And you can see that. You can absolutely see that players are playing in certain ways because they're so used to playing week in, week out against each other.
Williamson again for England, the captain midway inside her own half. No real pressure on her. She finds Kira Walsh in the white England shirt. Now James on the halfway line. James has to trot back into her own half now. Not seen much of Lauren James really in the game so far. Halfway line, she's played it through to Rousseau on the lip of the centre circle, back to Williamson. Now Greenwood on the left, just inside Sweden territory. Again, it's a ball threaded up the inside left channel. Again, it's hopeful rather than expectant, but Hemp has won it back off Angeldal, and Hemp dinks in the cross this time. Andersson volleys it away for Sweden. It's like England are trying to beat Sweden at their own game, get the ball wide, get it in, and it is not working so far.
I think what you've just said there is spot on. It's hopeful. I think that's been the case for the first 45 minutes pretty much now, nearly half time. Every single ball has been hopeful rather than with any real conviction.
Bronze, good tenacity to win it back just inside the Sweden half. She's fouled. England free kick about 10 yards into opposition territory. Walsh goes back to Carter. How many added minutes for the end of the first half? The fourth official is about to hold up the electronic board just in front of the halfway line, and as you'd expect, just a single minute. We've only really had that one stoppage for the brief injury to Lauren Hemp, who was relatively quickly back on her feet. Greenwood on the inside left for England, taking on the defender, infield to Hemp, corner of the 18-yard box. Can England get a ball into the penalty area late in the first half? Ella Toone down by the dead ball line, tries to poke it back. She was surrounded by yellow shirts. Oh, the referee's gone to ground, I think tripped up by Georgia Stanway. Or maybe the referee tripped up Stanway accidentally, not sure which way round that was. And now Sweden break with Rolfö. England cannot afford to concede again. Rolfö's beyond Leah Williamson. She's running at bronze. She's into the area. Rolfö! What a save by Hampton! Turning it behind with England's hopes hanging by a thread.
I mean, it's just perfect play by Sweden. Again, they're stronger, quicker. 1v1, I'm actually very surprised she doesn't take Lucy Bronze on even more here. It's a great save by Hampton. She's read it. It's a good height. She should make that save. And I mean, it's important she did make that save because 3-0 at half-time is game over.
And right at the end of first half stoppage time, can England stay switched on and avoid further damage? 2-0 down to Sweden on TalkSport in the quarter-final. And so, here comes the corner from the near side. Jonna Andersson, the left back, takes it. In swinging into the near post, headed away by Stanway, back in by Angeldal, and it's going to bobble behind. And that could well be half-time. Certainly England have a goal kick. And they are 45 minutes away from elimination. That was not good enough from an England perspective, not by any measure. And the goals they've conceded in particular will haunt the England players involved. The first was a complete mess. Carter gave the ball away initially with a dreadful pass. Walsh didn't help the situation either. And Asllani ran into the box with an unerring finish to drill Sweden home. The second came from one of those Sweden balls up the inside right channel, the sort of ball that surely England have been working on in training in the build-up to this game. Blackstenius eluded Carter and steered the ball past Hampton from an angle to make it 2. Rolfer could easily have added a third just before half-time. England's best chance has gone to Lauren Hemp. Her shot tipped onto the bar by Falk at 1-0. But in large part, England, compared to the performances against Netherlands and Wales, well short of what is required, and the defending champions can see their title slipping away from them. Sweden 2, England 0. And you have to say that if there isn't a big England improvement in the first 10-15 minutes of this second half, and my they need one, then you've got to ask questions of the head coach, because substitutions are something that England fans have talked about at major tournaments and in recent years for some time, and changes might have been expected of just about any head coach, but as Sarina Wiegman of course does things her way, it has been a remarkably successful way for England over the years. But that is a gamble you feel on a night like tonight.
It's a massive gamble, and I'm a big believer in you earn the shirt that you wear, and these 11 have earned the right to start the game tonight. But that doesn't mean then that you just can then perform at that kind of level and keep that shirt. You know, and if I was a sub on this bench right now, I'd be itching to try and change this game around. Sarina needs to give them the opportunity to do that.
England, white shirts, royal blue shorts, white socks. Sweden unchanged as well in yellow and dark blue. Is this the start of the comeback to end all comebacks for England, or is it just delaying the inevitable? 2-0 down to Sweden. They go long to Russo straight away, who flicks into the gloves of the goalkeeper. So Hampton in goal, Bronze, Carter, Williamson and Greenwood. Interestingly, Carter and Williamson seem to have switched sides in the England back line. Walsh and Stanway the holding two, James, Toon and Hemp behind Russo up front. Sweden have the ball, Eriksson their captain, as Russo's flagged offside. Back it goes to the Sweden goalkeeper Falk, Lundqvist, Bjorn, Eriksson and Andersson, Angeldal, Asllani and Zijotti, Olmer, Ritting, Canarid, Blackstenius and Rolfer. Here's the England bench. Morehouse and Keating the keepers, Charles, Mead, Letitia, Clinton, Morgan, Adjiman, Kelly, Beaver Jones, Park and Wubben-Moy. A lot of options for England on the bench. On this dark night now, the skies have turned very dark overhead, floodlights are on, and England have a lot of work to do live on TalkSport if they're to have any chance of making the semi-finals of the European Championships. Stanway, back it goes to Hampton. England fans doing their best to get behind the team. A constant presence all across Switzerland in this tournament. About 40,000 England fans have travelled to the country itself, and well over 10,000 here tonight. Lucy Bronze up towards the halfway line for England. She's as experienced as it gets in this kind of situation. She's got it back for a deflection. Stanway up the middle, pokes it wide to Lauren Hemp on the outside left. Bronze in the middle, so too is Russo. Hemp taking on the defender. The cross is blocked by Angeldal, and then Hemp slips. Sweden win it back. Sweden 2, England 0. Here's the former Lioness Tash Dower.
And I think that's where Sweden have been magnificent. 1v1, Hemp versus the right back that's come in today, Lundqvist, and you fancy Hemp, but straight away Angeldal busts a gut to go over there as a supporting midfield player to create that 2v1 in an overload situation, wins the ball back, then wins a foul. And I think that's where you've got to take your hat off to Sweden. The work rate has been phenomenal.
Sarina Wiegman with a worried look on her face in the dugout in front of us here, only about 20 rows of seats behind the England dugout. England, who've suffered heartache against Sweden in the Euros before, the final in 1984, where they were beaten on penalties. I tell you what, England would take a shootout at this point. they would snap your hand off for a penalty shootout. 2-0 down, nearly 3 minutes into the second half.
Yeah, the only thing I would say from the first 30 seconds to a minute, England are pressing higher. But with that comes a massive risk. Because if you get that press wrong and then you leave the space in behind, we know how good Sweden are.
Williamson trying to deal with Blackstenius down by the corner flag. She whips it across, but actually didn't hit Williamson, just drifted behind for a goal kick. Blackstenius, who scored the second for Sweden, Arsenal's Stina Blackstenius, certainly a player for the big occasion. We've seen her score in major finals for Arsenal on many an occasion, but the Champions League final winner at the end of last season, the most obvious example. England from left to right, towards the England fans behind the goal. Can the defending champions summon up some heroics in Zurich? Or are they going home tonight? Hemp down the left-hand side. Toon, the runner ahead of her. Toon into the penalty area. The angle's against her. Toon right-footed, saved by Falk. And the flag goes up belatedly anyway. I did think that Toon had gone a little early and it wouldn't have counted.
Yeah, she did go early, and it's a shame Hemp didn't find her earlier because it's a great run. She should score. She takes that extra touch, which then closes down the angle, and you can see why Falk right now is the goalkeeper of the tournament. It's a big save. She makes herself really big, spreads herself really well. Big moment for her because she didn't know it was offside, so well done to the keeper there.
Tonight England at 1-0 with that save to tip Hemp's impressive effort onto the bar, and Ella Toon stopped by the sprawling save from the goalkeeper, but she was offside anyway. Sweden 2, England 0 on TalkSport it remains. Both quarter-finals still to come. There's Spain against Switzerland and France against Germany, live over on TalkSport 2, which will be your home of the EFL as always from the start of next season, and of course the Premier League on TalkSport, as you'd expect. Out on the far side, the throw for Sweden. Lundqvist midway inside the England half. Long up the right, cleared away by Greenwood. England don't win the second ball in the middle of midfield, and Sweden try to knock it down towards the edge of the penalty area with Angeldal. Lucy Bronze gets a foot in on Rolfer. What a turn by Lauren James. Left Zijotti Olmer for dead, and she nutmegs Zijotti Olmer, who's ended up on the turf. He couldn't handle her. Now Russo, reverse ball to James down the inside right. That's brilliant. And what a cross! Hemp header! Oh, it's wide! What a chance for England! What inspiration from Lauren James! It's more like it. They're still 2-0 down though.
It's more like it, absolutely is. It's brilliant. She has to score. Simple. You know, I know I'm sitting up here and it's easy for me to say, but she has to score. You know, she does the right thing with regards to heading it back across goal, but her whole body position is wrong. She has to head it back down into the ground, and then it's 2-1 and England are back in this game, but unfortunately she doesn't even hit the target, and that kind of sums up England's night so far. But well done to Lauren James. That is more like it.
Free kick to Sweden on halfway. Let's go behind the goal. Courtney Sweetman-Kirk on the running track. Great view of that England chance. What a move. Just lacking the finish, Courtney.
Yeah, brilliant move. Lauren James is now obviously entered the party, as it were. But for me, it's just Lauren Hemp. She doesn't assess the ball well enough because she gets there almost a little bit too quickly, and then the ball ends up a little bit behind her, and that's why it's a difficult opportunity. So she just needs to assess the flight of the ball better.
Oh, and Williamson in trouble, clears the ball against the feet of Blackstenius and gets lucky. It's deflected through to Hannah Hampton. You would have thought England would have learned the lesson in the first half.
Well, this is what I mean about why do we get frustrated with this England team? Why were we frustrated after the France game? Because we know the levels that they can play at. So for me, you can see the mistakes you've made in the first half. You're 2-0 down. As a captain, you know you need to be tidy. So why are you making decisions like that which are going to then unsettle the team? Yeah, for me, that's why I get frustrated.
Walsh can't keep the ball on halfway. Not been herself at all tonight, Kira Walsh. Chasing Sweden's shadows. Lucy Bronze wins it back in the right back position. England possessing the ball much more in the second half. James on the halfway line, so often the player to make things happen, but that high ball cross-field is out of play. 7 minutes into the second half. England continue to trail 2-0. They have not failed to make at least the semis at a World Cup or Euros since 2013. It would be a significant failure if they were to do so tonight. After 2 finals under Sarina Wiegman and of course the glory of winning the Euros in 2022. Russo midway inside the Sweden half. Now it's Walsh back over the halfway line into her own territory. Greenwood in the left back position, far side. Williamson now for England. Greenwood again. You just wonder where the intensity was in the first half for England. After all the promise coming into this match, but there is still time, just about.
Yeah, there's plenty of time. All you need is one moment. They've got players that are good enough on that pitch. But the problem is I still don't see enough tactically. That's changed. You know, I'm looking at pretty much a flat front five almost. Everyone looking to run in behind now. So then again, when Lucy Bronze gets on the ball, there's no options to play through that midfield. And that's been a problem the whole game so far.
Still no subs warming up for England. Bronze gets a foot in, and it's a throw to Sweden right in front of Sarina Wiegman. The most successful England senior manager of all time. Of course, Gareth Southgate. Sir Gareth Southgate took England to 2 major finals, but he couldn't get over the line in either of them. Sarina Wiegman, 2 major finals, won 1, lost 1 to the world champion Spain in 2023. The semi-final against Italy feels a universe away for England at the moment. 2-0 down, headed by Walsh towards halfway. Now Williamson just nudges it square to Greenwood. Carter, midway inside her own half, the England defender. Sweden fans dancing, and there's bizarrely a Mexican wave going round the ground. Really strange given the jeopardy and what's at stake for England.
And I think as well, right now the situation's perfect for Sweden. They can just bank up into this 4-4-2, really manage the game and look to hit England on the counter like they're doing now.
Williamson's just been beaten with ease by Aslani. It's through to Blackstenius, it's in for Green. What a save by Hampton. Hampton stood up and keeps England in the European Championship.
Well, that's exactly what I'm saying. You know, it is. The game plan's perfect. England don't need to, with regards to Sweden, don't need to push bodies forward. And you see here, it's just too easy. One player running in behind the 2 centre halves, and she's through on goal. And I talked about Blackstenius. That's where she needs to be more clinical. As a top striker, you finish the game off there.
Long from Williamson up towards Russo, hit Russo on the back, and Sweden have it again. Whenever England keep the ball on the ground, they look a very competent side, capable of creating. Where this long ball football has come from, I think every England fan around the stadium will be shaking their head in bafflement at the moment.
Yeah, and I think after the game, if it does end up like this, I'm looking forward to hearing a Sarina Wiegman press conference with regards to what was her game plan.
Well, our England reporter Courtney Sweetman-Kirk will speak to the England boss for TalkSport. We will bring that interview live to you, the full-time phone-in, once we're done tonight. Sports Bar, rather. With it being a Thursday night, Sports Bar on TalkSport 03717 22234 to have your say. Jenny O'Hara, Jason Cundy, and Tash Dowie, former England striker, with us here in the commentary box. James for England, 10 yards shy of halfway, and she wins England a free kick. Wants to take it quickly, the referee delays the taking of the free kick.
And I think again we talked about the difference in the Lauren James. She likes tight pressure, and against Wales, against the Dutch, in these situations here she can drift past players. But this is where Sweden are so good, doubling up, Aslani doubling up. I think it's Lundqvist getting that little nick on the ball. She hasn't been able to have that impact, and I think what I love about James is she wants to be the one to make the difference, but also she needs to realise she has to play with her teammates more here. She can't just win this game on her own because Sweden are too good.
Free kick to England on halfway. Greenwood out to the left, and Lauren James, who wins another free kick. This time it's midway inside Sweden territory. England playing from left to right and trailing by 2-0.
Well, you can see why they've changed the right back today, Joe. You know, she's having a really good game against Lauren James, getting tight, you know, fouling her whenever she possibly can.
England had to reset after the defeat to France in the first game of the group stages. Greenwood pumps the ball high towards the far post. It hits the side netting. Really poor delivery from Greenwood. And what England have to do now in the remaining 33 minutes is really produce a microcosm of the group stages. They started really poorly, but they finished brilliantly. And they've got to work with the clock against them, and still no sign of any substitutions as we head to the hour mark.
Well, what I was going to say is what England need to do now is they need to make a sub. They really do.
Why isn't Sarina Wiegman doing it, Tash Dowie?
I think she just has this loyalty towards certain players that have been there, done it in big moments for her. But, you know,
England are about to go out.
they absolutely are, and you can see the players on the bench, Joe. They look dejected, they look frustrated that they're not giving more of an opportunity. You know, is 13 minutes long enough to be able to come on and score 3 goals?
Well, they need at least 2 to take it to extra time. And again, England fans would love extra time the way this quarter-final has gone. Hemp surrounded by 3 yellow shirts. Look at the press from Sweden, and they win a throw. England not doing enough.
No, that's been them all game though, and we talk as well about players' fitness. You're asking a Hemp now to perform longer than she probably should because you want her on the pitch so long. A Lauren James, who's been out of the game for so long, asking too much of her maybe.
Russo back to goal. James edge of the D. James left-footed, takes a big deflection. That's going to go behind. It's an England corner. They've got 4 subs warming up at the moment, England. They've got a corner as they look to try and get a goal back and save themselves at this Euros.
But that's better by England. You know, get half a yard. I'm a big one in. If you don't shoot, you don't score. So I don't mind that by Lauren James because a corner then comes from it.
Right, just over half an hour to go. Corner at the England end. Whipped in by Greenwood towards Stanway. Header away, Aslani. Now it'll drop to Walsh. Right hand side, near side of the field. Can she hoist the ball back into the box? She does. Headed away bravely by Natalie Bjorn of Sweden. And she gets up again to clear it. Then the snapshot from Stanway is blocked. England want handball. They're going to play it down inside the penalty area. It's the captain, Leah Williamson. And the referee eventually stops the game.
Yeah, I think there's desperate calls there for handball. I didn't see anything there. You know, she's actually headed it onto her hand, but is her hand really in an uncut? She's jumped for the ball, the hand's in the air. I mean, I think that would be very soft if that is given, in my opinion.
Williamson is back on her feet. We will get a word from our England reporter Courtney Sweetman-Kirk in just a moment. Away to the right-hand side, watching from right behind the Sweden goal. And England fans try to suck the ball into the net with their team 2-0 down on TalkSport. The sports bar, as I say, takes your calls once we're done. 03717 223344. Hemp back to goal, trying to turn out to the left for England. She threads the ball into the path of Hedda Toon. Reverse pass to Hemp on the underlap. Beyond Lundqvist, into the area, pulls it back, and it's cleared away. And Hemp had actually taken the ball beyond the dead ball line. It's a goal kick, and that rather sums up England's night.
Yeah, what a shame, because again, it's great play by Hemp, and she probably has been the little bright spot for England, but that extra little touch has let her down, and really that kind of sums up England's performance over 60 minutes so far.
Well, interesting. Here is the first change. It is for Sweden, who are heading into the semis to play Italy. As it stands, Smilla Holmberg is going to come on, the 18-year-old, just her 5th senior cap, and off goes Lundqvist. So they are concerned enough, Sweden, that they've decided to make a change in that right-back area. Less than half an hour now for the defending Euros champions England to hold on to their crown, or to keep hopes alive.
I'm surprised by that change, if I'm being completely honest, whether or not Lundqvist isn't 100% fit. But for me, I think she's had a terrific game and kept Lauren James pretty quiet. And to bring on an 18-year-old kid with very little experience on the international stage, I think that's a big call there by the Sweden coach.
We've often talked about England at major tournaments, certainly in the latter part of the Gareth Southgate era, in terms of the men's team, in being reactive and not proactive when it comes to making substitutions in key matches. And we look at the state of play at the moment, and it does not feel like the England staff are being proactive enough.
No, it's so frustrating, and I think all the fans are feeling it right now. And I think sometimes, as well as a player, when you're on the pitch and you know it's just not your night, actually, sometimes you can hold your hand up and say, maybe someone on the bench can have more of an effect. But that's the coach's decision. They can't make that. Serena Wiegman is the only one that can make that call.
The Lionesses are labouring here. Mead is warming up down below us on the near side. Adjemang is there as well. We know, given half a chance, she can cause havoc in penalty areas. She did it against France. Esme Morgan is down there too, I think, for England. Hasn't appeared at the tournament so far on the pitch. Written counter it for Sweden. England could still let the game get away from them well and truly. Reverse ball by Rolfer into the area. Aslani's after it, and it's Walshoff bronze. Sweden actually appealed for handball there. Goal kick is given. Be very interesting to see that again on our monitor in the commentary position.
So you can see here, I I mean, it's tight, isn't it? Her arms are by her side. Again, is it a hard one? It's from a few yards out. But I think that sums up the whole night, Joe, so far. Keira Walsh and Lucy Bronze, two people that have played with each other at Barcelona, at Chelsea, at City, know each other inside out. No communication there whatsoever between them.
63 gone. Sweden 2. England nil it remains. On Talk Sport, Lauren James, England's number 7, picks out Stanway, middle of the Sweden half, out to the left and Russo. Toon is in the middle for England, back it goes to Stanway. Stanway looks up and crosses right-footed towards Hemp, header away by Anderson, drops to Walsh, long way out, she can't hit them though, as we've seen it this Euros. James, left corner of the penalty area, now Greenwood with a first-time cross. Russo went near post, but delivery is not good enough again. Natalie Bjorn steers it upfield.
Yeah, frustrating, because that's Alex Greenwood's strength, isn't it? Her left foot, and that's why she's been playing in the full-back position. Under no pressure there, good bodies in the box at that moment, but hits the first player.
Williamson, 20 yards into the Sweden half, long diagonal ball, good one. Lucy Bronze heads it on, and up goes the goalkeeper, who didn't get hold of it initially. Falk under the aerial challenge of Lauren Hemp, bounces down. Tash Dowie, former England striker, is alongside me on Talk Sport. It is a direct approach from England here, Tash.
It is, and what I'm really hoping as well is that the last kind of 5-10 minutes, like kind of what happened against France, we don't throw an Agyemang on and we just start going long ball, and because for me we play such good football. Except for Spain, I feel like we're probably the most best possession-based team in this tournament. But we have not seen that at all tonight. And again, I don't know why I'm disappointed. That's why I'm so disappointed tonight.
Bronze in front of the England technical area. Forward to Hemp. Nearly 20 minutes have gone in the second half. Hemp, big reverse ball. Toon is clear. Lays it square. No! Away by Engeldahl. What is Ella Toon thinking? And now Sweden are breaking. Carter is struggling with Blackstenius. Blackstenius has got it. Aslani's in the middle. Blackstenius left edge of the penalty area. Holds it up, goes back to Rolfer. Why did Ella Toon not shoot for England? With a great scoring record, one of the star players of the tournament so far. She tried to lay it square, and Sweden got in the way. And here they are with Engeldahl at the other end. And now the shot is on for Ritten Kaneryd. Left-footed, curler over the...
26,000 fans have asked why has Ella Toon, I mean, what a ball by Hemp. Hit it, shape it into that near corner. The keeper has actually sold herself. That really surprises me with an Ella Toon. She's in good goal-scoring form, really good in this tournament. And that's where I talk about those big players who want to be the ones to really take that responsibility, and she hasn't in that moment. And then go down the other end, Kaneryd then nearly makes it 3-0.
England subs have been called back. Agyemang's ready to come on. Long ball for England towards Russo. Out comes Jennifer Falk. So it's definitely going to be Agyemang. Looks like it could well be Mead 2 for England. Away by Falk. And Esme Morgan may be getting some instructions as well. So it looks like a triple change for the Lionesses. We are nearly midway through the second half. We are nearly into the final quarter of the game. And England have got to throw everything at it. Williamson with a long diagonal ball again. Flicked on by Hemp. And no foul by Jonna Andersson. The Sweden left back comes away with possession. Slices for clearance out for an England throw. They want Bronze to try and take it quickly, but she holds the play up. Stanway's square. Bronze looks for Hemp. The right corner of the penalty area. Hemp wriggles infield. Back to Stanway. Now it's Greenwood in front of the centre circle. On to James. A lot more possession for England in the second half, but little with it. Bronze out on the right. Russo's in the middle. Bronze shimmies infield, delivers left-footed. James brings it down back to goal. Lays it back to Toon. Shot blocked. Sweden with almost everybody in yellow behind the ball. The yellow wall at the moment that continues to keep England out.
Yeah, and I think if Esme Morgan comes on, what a game and what a position to make your kind of entrance to this Euros. She hasn't had any involvement so far, so that's a big call.
Great layoff by James. Russo edge of the D. Wriggles away from one defender. Back it goes to Ella Toon. Sweden camped inside their own penalty area. Lucy Bronze crosses into the 6-yard box, and Jennifer Falk is there to pounce on the ball. Courtney Sweetman-Kirk, our England reporter, behind the goal. High time for England changes, Courtney, and I think we're going to get them.
Yeah, we are. I can just looking over to the bench now. Agyemang, Esme Morgan and Beth Mead stripped off getting their instructions. But you know what? Sweden, again, they've been brilliant. Different this second half in terms of not possessed the ball as much, but in terms of their defensive shape, the goalkeeper doing well there, handling that cross and just bringing the calmness and control to the game. But no, I hope, like Tash said, that this doesn't mean now that England just go route one because you bring in Agyemang on. Yes, they need urgency, but they also need to play.
Well, they have 22 and a half minutes to save their tournament here in Zurich. England are heading out of the Euros as it stands. On Talk Sport, 2-0 down in the quarters to this very dangerous Sweden side. England throwing the right back area.
I mean, Joe, as well, what's taking so long
I've
to get
no
them on?
idea.
This is what's frustrating me. You're asking what? It's going to be 20 minutes by the time. You know, they know what they need to do. They're 2-0 down. They need to score 2 goals. Get the players on the pitch.
Agyemang sitting down, Mead is sitting down, Morgan sitting down. What can be the cause of the delay? England have got no time to lose. This is it. The tournament is ending if it stays like this.
I mean, if I was one of their players, if I was one of those players, I'd just be walking straight out onto the sideline, get me on the pitch.
Oh, there's real pressure on Sarina Wiegman now. Big questions to be asked if it stays like this. Russo on the halfway line. Good square ball. Out to the left and James taking on the defender Holmgren. James fancies her chances. Goes in field at pace. Was blocked off by Angeldal and the free kick goes the way of Sweden. Right, here come the England substitutions.
It's just brilliant though. I'm admiring the defending because again James, a little bit frustrated that she doesn't go down the line and she cuts back in to where all the bodies are, but again, highlighted Angeldal, played with her. Her work rate to double up has been brilliant.
So, Morgan, Agyemang, Mead, off goes Anna Toon, first of all. Jess Carter replaced, really disappointing first half. And Agyemang for Stanway. So England are throwing everything at it in terms of forward players here, Tash Dowie.
Yeah, they are. And I wanted this, but I wanted this at half-time with 45 minutes to play rather than 20 minutes. It's going to be really interesting to see the way they set up. It looks like they're going to go 2 up top with Russo and Agyemang, and then potentially Mead, kind of in this right-hand side. Then it looks like Lauren James is in that number 10 role. But again, what Courtney said, for me, I'm thinking this is going to be a bit more of a direct game now, make it into a bit of a scrap and battle, which I don't think is our strength. You can see Morgan giving Lucy Bronze a piece of paper there, so with tactics on, but we'll see whether or not in 20 minutes they can do what Sarina Wiegman wants of them.
Beth Mead, the Golden Boot winner at the Euros, Michelle Agyemang, just her 3rd England cap.
They've gone to a back 3, Joe, as well. So you can see here, Williamson, Morgan and his Greenwood a back 3.
There are 20 minutes to go and England still 2-0 down. Rolfers free at the back post for Sweden. In fact, Stenius can spot her. She couldn't get the pass away. Walsh, edge of the area. The England fans chanting the name of Sarina Wiegman. I have to say, 03717 223344 to speak to the sports bar once we're done. Jamie O'Hara, Jermaine Pennant and Tash Dowie. This is Women's Euro 2025 on TalkSport with McDonald's. Order the iconic big arch on the McDonald's app. Why didn't these changes get made at half-time? Because the performance felt sufficiently poor to warrant it.
Yeah, well, I can't wait for Courtney to ask Sarina Wiegman that, but they have. They've gone to a back 3 now. Lucy Bronze, and I think it's hemmed both of the wing-backs to give us a little bit more going forward now. But on the flip side of that, if you lose this ball, there's even more space now for Sweden to exploit.
Well, England have got to throw everything at it. Lauren James, they're heading out as it stands, 25 yards out. Sweden, everybody behind the ball. Only conceded once at the tournament so far, the Swedes. They are resolute. Yellow shirts in front of James, looks frustrated. She's gone back to Williamson in front of Sarina Wiegman.
But I don't like that as well. I can understand that James is frustrated, I get that, but the body language is so poor. And if I was Sweden, I'd be thinking, happy days, I've got on these England players' heads.
Foul by Zajotti Olma on James. Free kick England, right wing position. Time is running out. 18 minutes plus added time to go. Lucy Bronze is looking across to make sure the England physios get on, I think, here, is she?
I'm actually not sure that's even a foul, really. There's a little nudge, but actually I think the ball smashes James in the face, and that's why she's gone down. A little bit soft there, in my opinion, but a great position now for Alex Greenwood to whip in a left foot cross here.
I think Lucy Bronze was there just getting some energy gel, maybe. from the physio on the near side. That's what she was hoping for. But we heard all this week from England players and the captain Leah Williamson that the fight, the resolve, the desire was just the same as 2022. 17 and a half minutes for England to show it, plus added time. They need 2 goals minimum. Greenwood over the free kick. It'll be left-footed from the right, in swinging. Here it is, high into the penalty area. Adjiman climbs. The header goalwards from Hemp is straight at foul. Not for the first time tonight. Lauren Hemp misses a presentable chance.
Yeah, she's actually been quite good in the air, Lauren Hemp, with regards to actually winning quite a lot of balls. But from Adjiman being in the box, and I talked about it, her height and her presence absolutely rattles the Swedish team. She did that against France, and with that, even if England don't win the first balls, they're always picking up the seconds, and that is effective, and I think something that they need to use more in these last 15 minutes.
Poor square ball by Mead, but England get away with it. Walsh eludes both Jyoti Olma and Angeldar. She's laid it square to the left, and Hemp is going to go on the outside of Holmgren, take her on in a one-on-one and sprints towards the dead ball line. Holmgren gets back at her. Excellent defending from the teenager. That is a goal kick to Sweden, who have been superb. They will face Italy in the semis as it stands. And England have got just over 15 minutes or they are going home.
It's brilliant defending by the 18-year-old. Stronger, shoulder to shoulder, out muscles Lauren Hemp there. You can't fault Lauren Hemp's work rate. She's always wanted to go 1v1. She's always wanted to be positive. And again, she probably has been one of the bright spots for England. But all over, player for player, they've won their battles.
Over 22,000 here tonight. Williamson volleys the ball forward, hits it off well for, and it'll be an England throw. A double change coming up for the Swedes. Madeline Janogy and Lina Hurtig, another actually former Arsenal player, left the club at the end of last season to join Fiorentina. They're going to make a double change for Swedes shortly. Here's James for England. She is in behind down the left-hand side. 3 in white in the middle. James delivers. Here's Adjiman. Oh, it bounced off her and goes away from goal. The ball has been cleared only as far as Greenwood. Greenwood out to the left. Now Hemp on the outside. Whips in a high cross. Russo goes for it. Header away by Eriksson. Again, the game plan for England seems to be get it wide, get it in. Long from Williamson now. Here comes the goalkeeper. That is easy. For foul in red to take it hard above her head. England's Chloe Kelly getting ready to come out.
Yeah, get it wide, get it in, but not straight to the keeper. You know, it's like almost like goalkeeping practice at the moment with some of our deliveries. And going back to Adjiman there, that's a big opportunity for her there. You know, James does well to pick out a cross, and her touch has to be better. She has to be tidier, and this is where I challenge her with her game. Yes, she definitely has that presence, but her hold-up play has to be better. And again, I know you're putting your hands up there, Joe. Long ball into Russo, that's not her strength. She does well there to chase it down, but has to be better.
She has held it up brilliantly, Russo. It looked like it was going to drift out to play. James prods it down the left. Lauren Hemp first time cross. Adjiman got the first touch on it. It's looped over the bar, and there was a clash of heads between Adjiman and the Sweden defender, and the referee has stopped the game. Well, 14 minutes left as Serena Biegman walks back to the dugout. Her England team are heading out at the quarter-final stage in the summer that they wanted to be the first England senior side to win a tournament overseas, the first England senior side to successfully defend a major trophy and retain a title. Wonder what she's thinking at the moment as the England players use the opportunity with Jyoti Olma down to come over to the near side touchline.
Yeah, and again, I'm looking at that body language, and it does give me flashbacks a little bit to that French game with regards to just looking at the players, who's talking, body language. People like a Lucy Bronze looks a bit flat, looks a bit deflated, looks as if she knows what the answer's going to be, what the outcome's going to be. Serena Biegman, who's she talking to? I don't see enough of that communication and problem solving on the pitch, and I think that's what happened against France, and they've come up against a team who are exactly like them, and they've struggled again tonight.
And you wonder what has happened for England since that big win over Wales that got everybody dreaming again. Chloe Kelly will come on in a moment, but Sweden are going to make the changes first. It's Hurtig for Aslani. Hurtig's had an excellent tournament. He's scored a couple of times off the bench for Sweden so far. The other change, Janogy for Welfers. So 2 pacey players for England to worry about. Who is Kelly going to replace now? Be interesting to see. I think it's Hemp coming off. It is.
Yeah, and we talked about Hemp's game time and minutes, and I'm sure she would have loved to have played more, but she probably hasn't got a lot more in her. And just going back, Joe, as well, I think sometimes as England fans, we know how good England are, but let's be honest, they were poor against France. They came up against a bang average Dutch team who really underperformed. They obviously dominated Wales, but that's the lowest nation. So actually, bigger picture, this has been their biggest challenge and test, and they've failed, unfortunately.
Will it be the start of an end of an era for England tonight? Greenwood long to Adjimak, she's held it up brilliantly. She steered it wide to Beth Mead, that's a good ball in the area. Mead crosses, hits the defender, comes back to Mead, going to get a second chance to cross here. Back to Bronze, she delivers high. Adjimak is up there, headed away by Eriksson. Kira Walsh can't win the second ball, and it's away by Blackstenius. Well, these are really desperate times for England now, Tash Dowie. Just over 10 minutes left and they're 2-0 down.
Yeah, it is, and it's just flashback so to the France game.
Rousseau working the channel inside left, held up by Angledahl, plays it back. Chloe Kelly with time to cross in towards Bronze. It's in! England have got one back! Lucy Bronze there in the back post. Maybe, just maybe, the dream is still alive. England are back in it. They've got 11 minutes to get an equaliser. Sweden 2, England 1. Here we go.
And it's exactly the same, isn't it? You know, you bring on all your big guns with regards to Adjiman, you cause chaos, you get players on the pitch like a Chloe Kelly, people that can deliver balls like that. That is exactly why she has come on the pitch, because she is the one player that can put a ball on your head. And credit to Lucy Bronze, getting up there still and putting it in the back of the net. And I tell you what, it's going to be a massive last kind of 5-10 minutes of this game.
Well, Tash Dowie, our nerves now. 11 minutes of this, plus added time, maybe extra time. England have hope, finally. It's taken them far too long to produce a ball in like that, for one thing. But it's 2-1.
And I tell you what as well that I think might be an issue, people like Aslani being subbed when they think maybe the game's over. That kind of experience I think you need on the pitch right now.
Great tackle Holmgren on Kelly, down the England left, it's an England throw. Midway inside the Sweden half, 10 minutes left, you're listening to Talk Sport, live from inside the stadium in Zurich. Sweden 2, the Lionesses 1. Lucy Bronze with the goal, and Chloe Kelly's in down the left-hand side again, beyond the defender, whips it in, Mead is there, and Adjiman! 2-2! The Lionesses have come back from the dead! What a moment for the teenager! Michelle Adjiman at just 19 years of age! That is a golden goal for England! They are level! Can you believe it? The pressure was on, but England have shown why they're champions. This is proper English. Sweden 2, England 2.
I mean, I can't believe it if I'm being honest. England have not turned up for pretty much 75 minutes, and then literally 2 minutes they're back in the game. And now I see England going on to win this because Sweden do not have the players now on the pitch that they need. And Aslani, leaders, they're taking those players off.
Football. Where will this game take us next? 2 for England in 2 minutes. 19 Michelle Adjiman. 3rd England cap. First goal at a major tournament. Second in an England shirt. One of the moments of the tournament so far. You almost can't believe that the Lionesses have drawn themselves level, but you've got to give them credit for doing so.
I'm giving them massive credit. If you ask me personally, honestly, do they deserve to win this game? No, they don't. They haven't been good enough, but they are back in this game. And I think, first of all, it's really poor management by Co Hardson. I think the way he's managed this game has been really poor. On the flip side, I said, can the subs make an impact? We're all questioning Serena Wiegman, saying it's not long enough. Why is it taking so long to get these subs on? And once again, she proves why.
Well, the England fans cheered, We cheered here, and I'm sure you did at home as well. 2-2. And now the question is, can England win it in normal time? Let's go behind the goal. Courtney Sweetman-Kirk right in front of the action. Courtney, what a moment.
Yeah, a couple of moments, and for me it's been about Chloe Kelly, hasn't it? The way that she's come on, she's put balls in the box, she's created chaos with her quality. Also, the players around her have stepped up to it as well. Yes, they can win it in normal time, but they've got to be careful as well, England. I agree with what Tash said. I think Sweden have maybe shown their cards a little bit too early.
Russo, reverse ball down the middle, out comes the goalkeeper in front of Beth Mead. So England could yet be heading to Geneva. You and I can hardly believe it, Tashdal.
No, I really can't, but this is why we love this sport. You know, and why these players have won so many things and are always in finals, because of that mentality. They always know, they never give up. You know, credit to them, because I think we all thought England were out, let's be honest.
Headed by Russo. Ajimang chasing, one on the halfway line by Sweden. England got to be careful not to lose it here. Yanogi, left-hand side, looks to find Blackstenius back to goal, and England are still under threat. Porting edge of the box. Angeldar blocked off by James. Oh, it's end-to-end now in Zurich. Walsh building from the back. Early ball to Chloe Kelly, who has come on and changed it. How integral Chloe Kelly has been to Serena Wiegmann's England. The finishers have come on and turned the tie around.
Yeah, they really have, and brought that composure and a bit of quality on the ball. You know, decision making actually, when is it on to go forward, and actually, like they're doing right now, when is it on to just keep the ball and possess the ball?
Forward towards Russo. Down the right-hand side, it's a body blow for Sweden, and Russo fouled by Eriksson. Free kick England, 10 yards from the corner flag. You think about major tournaments, you think about big moments. If England can somehow get out of this and move on to the semis, this will feel like a massive turning point.
Oh, it absolutely will. And as a saying in football, you know, winning ugly. And England, if they do go on to win this game, they have won ugly, really ugly. But I tell you what, they will not care if they then win this European Championship. They won't remember this performance.
6 minutes ago, England were 2-0 down. Now it's 2-2. Free kick whipped in high by Greenwood. Goalkeeper takes it high above her head. This is Talk Sport, the home of live football. And it is tough to find superlatives to describe how the England fans will be feeling at the moment. They are roaring their team on all around the stadium, and it has gone all quiet away to the left-hand side. Extra time looms. Hampton poor clearance. Sweden pro far side the right.
And I tell you what, if it does go into extra time, you really do fancy us. One, with regards to legs, I think we've got a younger team full of energy. Secondly, also our bench is so much stronger, in my opinion, than the Swedish. And actually, I think, like Courtney said, Sweden have played all their cards. You know, I don't see too many more players that they can bring on a changes game. And you're zooming in on Asllani here. For me, that is absolute madness that he has taken her off.
Well, there may be repercussions for Gerhardsson, the head coach. This could be his last game in charge. England get a throw. England waited 79 minutes to really turn up in the game, but it was worth the wait, or it will be, if they can complete the comeback. Williamson just shy of halfway. 2-2, 86th minute. And now Greenwood out on the left-hand side. 3 upfield to aim at long ball. Beth Mead could be in. She chests it down. She will lay it square. Ajimang can't get to it. Cleared away. Oh, Walsh was going to run on and hit that, but there's a foul on Eriksson. And a yellow for Ajimang, I think. What skill by Beth Mead in the build-up. She chested it down. I thought she was going to spin and shoot there, Tash.
And she probably should have. She's got that in her locker. But again, we talk about who's impacted the game and getting those numbers higher up. Beth Mead is really a kind of number 9 wide player. She'll drift into those kind of pockets. And just more numbers in the box has really caused Sweden some problems. Sweden's back line is their weakness. We didn't test it enough in the first 70 minutes. We have done now. And look, we're back in the game.
Williamson back to Hampton. Hampton on the left foot. Chelsea goalkeeper safety first. Out of the area and out of play for a Sweden throw. 3 minutes plus added time to come in normal time. Sweden 2, England 2. So 87 minutes have been played in Zurich. England have come from 2-0 down on Talk Sport. And so We might have to wait a little longer to see who will play Italy next Tuesday in Geneva in the semi-finals. Oh, England have given it away! Yonogi, left-footed shot, turned away by Hampton. England with a mistake through Esme Morgan that nearly cost them the tournament. Morgan Williamson and bronze in a mess, and Sweden so nearly win it.
I tell you what, Morgan is going to be thanking Hampton after this game if they do go on and win it. You know, it's that back three and Morgan's just overpassed it, complete mix-up. And really, actually, Yonogi should do better. She should go back across goal. And it's actually quite a comfortable save for Hampton in the end.
Well, there's no doubt this England team gives you a chance, and more than that. Not a great record of clean sheets in recent times, England, at all. Corner to Sweden. Angeldal delivers into the near post, headed away. That's spun off Kira Walsh, I think. Goal kick is the eventual decision. 2-2, 2 minutes left. This is Women's Euro 2025 live on TalkSport at McDonald's. Try the new and iconic big arch. Here's the former England striker, Tash Dowd.
Well, I think you can see there by the players' body language that was actually the wrong decision. It was very obvious that it came off Kira Walsh's head. Poor referee in there. You can understand why the Sweden players are going mad.
When I saw a goal kick, Tash, I thought, well, I'll need new contact lenses if that's the case, because very sure that it spun off Kira Walsh, and it did. England get away with it. A little bit of good fortune. Mead is fouled. England's subs out of their seats on the bench. Yellow cards. Ijoti Olmo booking for her. Free kick England. 10 yards into the Sweden half. Somehow at a point, going into the final minute of normal time, when a goal would win it for the Lionesses.
And it wouldn't surprise me, honestly, with this team. Nothing surprises me anymore watching this England team. You know, actually, you've got to take your hat off to them. Their mentality is ridiculous. That monster mentality, we hear it in football so many times. But yeah, it's going to be one hell of a, added on time now.
Chloe Kelly floats the free kick into the penalty area, high to the back post. Williamson was trying to get there, actually barged over Ijoti Olmo. The referee hasn't seen that. Oh, and Morgan nearly caught again on the halfway line. Got to sharpen up and quickly. England have got it with Kelly. She's got James on the outside right. Level the edge of the area. 25 seconds to go. 2-2. Added time on the way. Kelly delivers left-footed. Adjemang is in there again. Headed away by Eriksson. They don't know how to deal with Adjemang. England must be careful. They're not caught on the break. Kelly slides in. Fouls Angeldal. And another yellow card. This time for England's Chloe Kelly. And it's getting scrappy at times, this game. And you can see the clear desire of both sets of players not to be the one to make the mistake to send their team home. 3 minutes at it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the way England are playing, bodies forward, crosses into the box, but it's leaving them very exposed at the back, and that is a little bit scary.
Well, we had a very late winner for Italy against Norway last night in the first of the quarter-finals on TalkSport 2. Can England summon up a winner here? 30 seconds through 3 added. England have a throw in the right back position. How have England done it? 2-2. Lucy Bronze in the right back area. Long throw towards halfway, headed down by Yonogi. Who'll take controls in front of the Sweden dugout. Beth Mead has tripped Hurtig. And now Sweden have a free kick. 2 added minutes, and do England now, Tash Dowie, manage the game until extra time?
Yeah, they need to manage the game by not doing exactly that. We know how good Sweden are in the air. They scored all 3 of their goals with headers against Poland, and you're giving them a free kick now with 2 minutes to go where they can get bodies forward and really pile up. That was a silly foul in my opinion.
England hopes raised again. Angeldal, this is just in front of the touchline. Hannah Hampton has taken a very advanced position, and Angeldal's tried to catch her out, and Hampton is there across to take it easily. Long way out there, Angeldal. You've seen players try that sort of thing against goalkeepers before, but not really from that kind of distance. Hampton thumps it long. Russo tries to bring it down. Halfway through 3 minutes added at the end of normal time. Sweden 2, England 2 in the quarter-final. Poor header by Greenwood. Yonogi for Sweden. Beyond Lucy Bronze. Up to the edge of the penalty area. Lauren James tracks back for England. Holds Yonogi up, the number 7 for now. Good work by Kelly helping out. James long. Adjemang on the chase. Adjemang's only got one defender between her and the goal. Russo's up with her. Russo is square. Alessia Russo to win it. Blocked. and she didn't see Kelly behind her. Corner.
Well, I tell you what, that tackle is pretty much like scoring a goal. I mean, that is magnificent. You know, Russo probably needs to have better awareness, but Agyemang does everything right. It's a good touch, and that's going in. So that is an incredible block there by the Swedish defender.
Holmberg,
yeah, credit
What a
to her.
player.
18 years old, coming on and doing that. Take your hat off to her.
she is some talent, isn't she? But it is an England corner. Last knockings of added time at the end of normal time. Sweden with everybody back. Chloe Kelly to float it in high underneath the crossbar, and that has been tipped over by Falk. Under pressure from Agyemang. She thought she was fouled. It's another corner.
Yeah, she's furious. She thinks that Agyemang there is actually pushing her into the goal, and she's right to be mad. You know, I'm all for, backing in front of the keeper and making it hard, but she pretty much has bungled fouled into the goal there, which is why then she's had to tip it over.
Over goes Kelly to take it. The England fans behind the goal in their thousands are ready for a special moment. White shirts flooding the 6-yard box. This is going to go right underneath the crossbar from Kelly. Here it comes, headed up into the air, not very far. Flick further clear by Janogy. It's on the edge of the Sweden box. We've certainly had the pre-added minutes now. And that is the end of the 90. But England keep their hopes alive, still, just, somehow. A miraculous late comeback after Sarina Wiegman threw everything at it. Substitutions, change of formation. Lucy Bronze scores again against Sweden at a major tournament to get them back in the running. And then 2 minutes later, the 19-year-old Michelle Agyemang off the bench to score her first major tournament goal and keep England's hopes of retaining the European Championship alive. Extra time to come. It finishes after normal time. Sweden 2, the Lionesses 2. I still can't believe it either. Somehow England can still see a road, still see a pathway to the semis in Geneva next Tuesday against Italy, and the final in Basel next Sunday. 2-2 ahead of the start of extra time. No changes at extra time. England will start from right to left. White shirts, blue shorts and white socks. And England with Hampton in goal. Williamson, Morgan and Greenwood have been playing in a back three. Bronze and Kelly in the wing-back positions. James and Walsh hovering in the middle. Agyemang, Russo and Mead with quite a formidable-looking front three. And Sweden, yellow shirts, dark blue shorts and yellow socks. Falk in goal. Holmberg, Bjorn, Eriksson and Anderson. Angeldal, Hurtig and Zijotti Olmer. Richard Kannerid, Blackstenius and Janogy. It is the first time at this tournament, of course, that one of the knockout matches has gone to extra time. We have Spain against Switzerland tomorrow for you on TalkSport 2, and on Saturday the very eye-catching tie that is France against Germany. Long delay to the start of extra time here. Sarina Wiegman sitting back in the dugout on the running track between the stands and the pitch, and the England head coach will be breathing a huge sigh of relief. There is a second chance for the Lionesses, Tashdale.
Yeah, there is, and now I look again at the setup. It looks like for this extra time England have gone back into that back four setup, a little bit more security maybe they're thinking with 30 minutes to play. Holmberg as well, I saw Joe strapping her ankle. She's really struggling the right back for Sweden, so England need to target her.
One head coach's substitutions. The Sweden managers have not come off. England's changes most certainly have. It is a free kick. They said before the game they called themselves the finishers, that they'd have a part to play, and Kelly and Agyemang in particular have helped absolutely rescue it for England. They were heading out of the tournament and the post-mortem was ready to begin, but England still have hope. We are 40 seconds into extra time on TalkSport live from Zurich. Sweden 2, England 2. England from right to left in the second half. James on the ball on the halfway line. And don't forget that England have got more opportunities to make another change. Greenwood wades down the near side and hits across off the back of Holmberg, who is struggling to carry on here, the defender. It'll be a throw to England on the left.
Yeah, she really is struggling. She took a good 5 minutes, to get her ankle strapped. But this is what I mean about the subs that the Swedish manager Garhardsson has made. You've got players now having to play 30 minutes pretty much on one leg.
Extra time and penalties, should they be needed, to come on TalkSport. Lauren James cross from the left, header away by the Sweden captain Eriksson, lofted back in towards Adjemang, who flicks it on well. Out comes Falk. Nobody at this tournament seems to know how to deal with Michelle Adjemang. She is a unique proposition and a 19-year-old playing without any fear whatsoever.
Yeah, and I think Arsenal fans will be looking forward to her playing for them next season, with the likes of Olivia Smith as well getting involved there. She's definitely one for the future, not just for England but for Arsenal.
Blackstenius holds the ball up for Sweden, midway inside the England half. Jonna Andersson threads a pass up the left. Lucy Bronze gets in front of Janogy, and the ball is hooked out of play by a deflection by England's Walsh for an England throw on the far side, the right. Well, no one's thinking about penalties just yet. Only a couple of minutes into extra time, but it'll certainly be on the mind of some of the England supporters, if not the players and staff. Forward by Bjorn, high up the middle for Sweden. Leah Williamson hooks it over her shoulder and away from danger for the Lionesses. Russo can't bring it down. Tired legs is something they might be thinking about though. Hurtig plays it left. Janogy beaten to it by Bronze. Dinks it out of play, Sweden throw.
Yeah, much better by England. Winning first balls a little bit more, which they didn't do for 70 minutes. First and second balls. I like the intensity more.
England fans making lots of noise behind the goal to the right. England flags being waved and white shirts everywhere you look really around the stadium. There are a couple of sections of seats where there are plenty of Sweden supporters. Wonder what the feeling is now among the Sweden players. They were all but into the semi-finals, Tash Dowie, and now they've got to go again for another 27 minutes that remain in extra time.
Yeah, and I do think this is why this England team will reach the finals, because of the squad depth. And I talk about it, when you make subs, there's not many nations that when you actually make substitutions can actually strengthen you. It tends to actually weaken you, and I think that's happened tonight for Sweden, whereas it's been the complete opposite for England.
Lauren James has flicked the ball off the hand of Angeldal. Free kick to England midway inside their own half of the field. Greenwood will just let Williamson take this. Midway inside the England half, Williamson just slows the game down. Next, Greenwood just having a little chat with Serena Wiegmann on the near side touchline. Esme Morgan has the ball for England, formerly of Manchester City, now plays her football in the United States with Washington. Chloe Kelly darts infield from the left. Lauren James back to goal, spins back out wide, chips a lovely ball down the touchline towards Kelly. Up by the dead ball line, pulls it back to the edge of the box. Russo nearly got there, referee nearly got in the way. James into the area, onto the right foot with a low shot, and it's blocked by Bjorn. James flicks the ball to the edge of the penalty area again, but this time Sweden scoop it clear. Up to Blackstenius. Morgan wins the header against Blackstenius. England can build another attack. 4.5 minutes into extra time, and it's 2-2 on TalkSport.
I tell you what, that's twice now in this game that the referee's actually got in the way in really dangerous situations, so she needs to do better there. But I need to take my hat off to Morgan. I think she's been brilliant since she's come on. A little bit of a scare early on with the pass, but actually her pace, reading the threat, Blackstenius in behind, winning that header there, I think she's looked really good, and it'll be interesting if they do progress what Serena Wiegmann does in that centre-half position.
Remember England's comeback against Spain in 2022? That was after extra time. England's extra time record is good, won 3 of their 4 matches that have gone to extra time at the Euros. Angeldal though for Sweden with a shot from a long way out. Hampton actually spilled that behind, and I think it was going wide anyway. A corner needlessly given away.
Yeah, she's got her positioning all wrong there, Hannah Hampton. It's going miles wide, so for me, really poor goalkeeping. She needs to just leave that. It's a good 5-10 yards going wide, so to then give Sweden the corner here where we know how good they are aerially is a bit of a problem.
Hannah Hampton kept England in it really at 2-0 down, but the England goalkeeper has also looked nervy on occasion throughout Euro 2025. 6 minutes into extra time at the Stadion Letzigrund, and Rousing rendition of Sweet Caroline from the England fans behind the goal. So Sweden corner, Jonna Andersson to take. Sweden have flooded the 6-yard box with yellow shirts, signaling with everybody back. Andersson high into the 6-yard area. Hampton can't punch it away through a crowd. In the end, Mead helps her out to hack it clear. A lot of bodies in front of Hannah Hampton there. In the end, it's out of play. England throw on their right back's position side.
Well done, Beth Mead. And I love that, you know, even just simple little things that people probably don't even notice, but that pressing there to force Sweden to backheel it, and then they can just relax, get settled, buy a little bit of time, get their composure again, get their breath back, because it's going to have taken a lot out of them this game, mentally and physically.
An uneventful first half of extra time so far. Mentioned 3 out of 4 matches that have gone to extra time at the Euros for England they have won. The only defeat, ironically, came against Sweden, 1987, in the semi-finals. And the Swedes have a free kick, 10-15 yards into England territory towards the far side. Angeldal has placed the ball down. And how heartbreaking would it be for England to lose it, having come back from a seemingly impossible position at one stage. Angeldal will pump this free kick high into the penalty area, beyond with the header wide. Hampton, I think, had it covered anyway.
She did have it covered, but that's a chance. Yeah, it's a great ball in. Bjorn gets up well and actually just can't get enough, and it's actually a poor finish. She has to head that back across goal, and then that's a goal. But that's a chance, and I saw, you know, all of them trying to rouse each other up, get each other going. It really is a big effort from everyone out there.
Former England striker Tash Dowie is here, WSL winner. Clearance away by Hannah Hampton for England. They're number 1. Up into the Sweden half, it's headed away by Zajoti Olma. Lucy Bronze volleyed the ball forward, but it had already gone out to play for an England throw anyway. I wonder, I mean, at what point does a player's mind start to turn towards penalties, Tash?
The second half of the extra time, absolutely. Yeah, I've been in these situations before, not in a European Championship, but in cup competitions where you do, it's not a nice thing to think about, but you do have your mind on a little bit and you want to get the job done now.
Sweden breaking up the middle. Hurtig, this is dangerous. Hurtig strides, plays it on to Blackstenius. She is in the area, the angle's very tight. Great cross headed away by Williamson, just over the head of the onrushing Ritin Kaneryd, and the ball has bounced back to Hampton, all in dark green again. You see the way that England are stretched with this setup of 3 up top. It does give Sweden, with their pace, room on the counter.
And it's so hard as well because you're in a position right now where who is going to be brave enough, you know, to make that decision?
Eriksson was calling for a goalkeeper to come for a ball into the penalty area. Jennifer Falk stayed on her line. Sweden do get it away anyway, despite the pressure of England's Michelle Adjemang, whose goal made it 2-2. 2 in 2 minutes for England to rescue themselves. Can they go on and win it in extra time? In the 10th minute of it, Beth Mead's cross takes a deflection. Corner to England on the far side.
I think bringing on the likes of Mead and Kelly, it really has worked wonders with regards to both of them, their deliveries from out wide. But you know what as well I've loved, and I've just been watching for the last couple of minutes, Lauren James. The maturity that she is playing with right now. She wants to go forward. She wants to be the one to score the goals and create. But actually, she's almost sitting and being that Kira Walsh kind of player, just getting the ball, you know, letting her other teammates do her thing. And I think that is just brilliant to see that maturity coming through.
An England corner on the way. It'll be taken by Chloe Kelly. Lofted high to the back post. Greenwood lurking, only half away by Hurtig. Lobbed back in by Lucy Bronze towards Alessia Russo. Bronze from a very tight angle again. Tries a shot right-footed. Charged down. 3 in front of her. The ball has spun out wide to the England left. Greenwood will play a first-time cross. A good one into the area, headed away. And flicked further clear by Angeldal. And the referee, I think, has given Sweden a free kick as Bjorn went down at the near post. And now for England, Leah Williamson is hurt, actually.
It's really brave defending there by Bjorn, and you can understand why. You know, her stats and clearances, I think she's highest with regards to 26 ball recoveries before coming into this game. So, you know, after this game, that's just going to be on top of that. But this doesn't look good. Doesn't look good at all. Chloe Kelly's screaming for the physio to come on. So I'd be very surprised if Leah Williamson can carry on. This doesn't look great at all.
2-2, and there is a big problem for the England captain. Leah Williamson, they've now got the physio on. Serena Wiegmann looks really concerned on the near side touchline, and Williamson will be treated here as England hope that their captain can continue in the game.
I think it looks like her ankle. For me, I don't know whether she's broken or dislocated her ankle here, because she looks in a really bad way. I was thinking, first of all, is it her knee? You know, she did her ACL, and I was hoping that wasn't the case, but it looked as if Chloe Kelly was saying to the physios it's her ankle, but she looks in a really bad way.
We hope it's not as bad as it seems, but of course this would be a major blow for England in the event that the captain has to come off. And is it the end of her tournament here? Leah Williamson, who missed the World Cup in 2023 with injury, such a heartbreaking experience for her, and is she about to be forced off nearly 12 minutes into extra time with the score at 2-2 in the quarter-final?
Well, I think you're spot on there, Joe. It's not just about this moment right now potentially going to penalties, but actually the whole tournament itself. You know, to lose your captain, such a vital part of this team, would be a big blow.
Williamson is on her feet and she is walking okay, it looks like. So maybe Williamson is going to carry on. England did get Grace Clinton over to the touchline. Williamson will play on here, it looks like. A scare for the Lionesses. Clinton is stripped and ready to go should England need her. But England's skipper, armband on, the number 6, only the second England senior player, of course, after the great Bobby Moore, to lift a major trophy for an England senior team. She comes back on. 2-2 as we head towards half-time and extra time.
I mean, that does surprise me because she looked in a lot of pain. I know Clinton was warming up there, so it would have been interesting to see what Serena Wiegmann would have done there. She does look like she's still coming on Clinton, so this is going to be an interesting change.
Yep, Clinton is going to take to the field. England do have a centre-half on the bench in Lotte Wubben-Moy, but they're not going to bring her on, it doesn't look like. Sweden had the ball upfield. 2-2 in extra time. 2 minutes of the first half of extra time to be played. With maybe a bit of added time on that because of that Williamson injury. Bronze fails Blackstenius with a clumsy and very late challenge. Free kick, centre circle.
I really hope Williamson is being honest with herself, though, because what you don't want is her to get in a 1v1 situation with Blackstenius and not be able to run. So just be interested. I'm keeping my eye on her to just see how she recovers from that ankle injury.
It is Clinton for Walsh. What do you make of that?
I mean, Walsh is one of your key players. Part of me is thinking penalties. You know, Clinton maybe a penalty taker, so get her onto the pitch, get her some touches. I've been actually in that situation where I've been in a penalty shootout and they haven't brought me on literally until 30 seconds and I haven't even touched the ball before taking a penalty, and as a player that's not nice, so that gives Grace Clinton some time.
That's the voice of former England striker Tash Dowie. Sweden free kick, they go long and high up to the edge of the penalty area. Hurtig heads it back across, Janogy goes for it and it could be steered towards goal, but not with any power by Eriksson. Lucy Bronze hammers it away to cheers from the England fans. England can reset again. 45 seconds, but the first half of extra time remain. This is Talk Sport. Long from Magda Eriksson for Sweden. The flick by Janogy, beaten Bronze in the air. Blackstenius about 25 yards out. Little dink out wide, and Sweden looking a threat here. Holmberg, near side of the field, chips in the delivery. It's behind everybody in yellow. Janogy will do well to keep it in on the far side. 2-2. England just having to defend here now. Mead does well in a one-on-one defensively against Janogy. The tireless Russo charges upfield again. James has got a player coming behind her, didn't see her. Sweden win it back and then give it away. Straight to Greenwood for England. James is down in the centre circle. The referee stops it. 2 added minutes at the end of the first half of extra time.
Yeah, it's good refereeing. It's not a foul. Hurtig actually, from what I saw, got the ball cleanly, and she does. You know, so it's the correct decision there. Actually, the ref doesn't have to stop the play because it's not a head injury, so I think Sweden are more frustrated with that. Yeah, I think Lauren James will be fine there.
Strange decisions today, some of them by the referee, and 1 or 2 like that throughout the tournament. They have every right, the Swedes, to be upset about that, I think.
Yeah, I think both teams have had probably wrong calls. The physio's coming on, so again, is that kind of a case of giving England a bit of a breather, or is actually James really struggling here? I think every England fan is praying that that's not the case. You can see her foot gets caught under Hurtig's foot, which is quite uncomfortable. That can be a sore one. But I think everyone, Lauren James needs to stay on this pitch, put it that way, if England want to win this game.
Well, we wonder whether, if it does go to penalties, Lauren James will be on the mind of Sarina Wiegman. She's chatting to Leah Williamson at the moment. And of course, penalties are certainly not the lottery that they once were. Teams work and prepare on penalties months in advance, but there's nothing like the moment of a shootout. We're still at least 15 minutes away from that.
Yeah, and I think Hartson answered it actually really well in the press conference. I think he got asked it about 50 times, and he just said it's something that you can never prepare for.
It was a penalty-themed press conference, and maybe the Swedish journalists knew something that we didn't. 2-2. James goes off, England temporarily down to 10. We're in added time at the end of the first half of extra time. Sweden go wide, Ritten Kaneryd crosses, headed away by Clinton. Important first real touch for her, having just come on. Back it goes to Zijotti Olma. James is back on, England restored to their full complement of 11, 2-2. We've had the 2 added minutes officially at the end of the first half of extra time, but pretty much, you would think, but at least another minute left. Back it goes to Eriksson. England having to withstand some pressure. Possession and territory for the Swedes in yellow. Long from Bjorn into the box. Here comes Hampton. Doesn't get there, and it's bouncing down in England penalty area, and the shot is on potentially. Down goes Blackstenius, no foul, and smuggled away by Lucy Bronze.
It's nervy times, it really is. Yeah, the next 15 minutes are as well. I think England are just wanting this whistle to blow so they can regroup. But both teams are going to have momentum, and it's just who can take that one chance they get.
2-2, tired legs for both. We're hearing it definitely wasn't a foul, as Hurtig waits in the box for a high cross into the area, and Hampton gathers it high above her head this time. Good play by Greenwood to shepherd Hurtig, and Greenwood actually took a little knock there. 3 minutes of added time at the end of the first half of extra time have elapsed, and this might be the last kick of the first half. Hampton long for England down the middle. No, we play on, and there are tired legs in this England team now. It looks like they had to summon up so much energy to come from 2-0 down in normal time.
Yeah, they do, and I think for the next 15 minutes, I feel like we've gone a little bit too long ball again, and yes, that got us back into the game, but we need to keep it better in the next second half of this extra time.
Half time, in extra time, penalties. Just 15 minutes away potentially, or is there to be a twist before that? Sweden 2, England 2. 15 minutes of nerve-shredding tension to come in extra time. 2-2. 2 changes for Sweden. Off go Ritten Kaneryd and Anderson. On come Jakobsen and Nilden of Spurs. And an England change as well. Leah Williamson is substituted. Is it precautionary? Is there a further concern after that injury in the first half of extra time? We will have to wait to find out. But Niamh Charles has replaced the England captain.
Yeah, that's a big blow for England. I mean, Niamh Charles is a great defender, but to lose your captain with 15 minutes of extra time going into penalties is a massive blow. And I was looking at the bench. Jakobsen is absolutely a positive move. Lots of pace again that England need to be aware of. So you can see that as a positive move there by the Swedish manager. As England, their change has really been through injury.
England from left to right in the second half of extra time. White shirts, blue shorts, white socks. Sweden in the familiar yellow and blue, playing from right to left. England attacking the end where the majority of their fans are housed, and where that comeback in normal time took place. That epic comeback, but it'll be all for nothing if they don't go and finish the job. Sweden 2, England 2 on Talk Sport. Amanda Nilden will take the throw for Sweden, having just come on, header away by Bronze, only half clear for England. She's on the edge of her own penalty area and has now gone back to Hampton, who hacks the ball upfield towards Adjemang, over the head of Adjemang and all the way through to Falk. Sarina Wiegman's name being chanted by the England fans, but England have not had a lot of the ball in extra time so far, Tashdown.
Just seems a bit surreal as well that it's nearly 11:30 at night and potentially we're going to be taking a penalty shootout at midnight. It just seems a really crazy night, to be honest, but one that I'm thoroughly enjoying watching.
Lee Charles gets a footing. We haven't seen anything yet. There's still a winning moment to come, but for which team? Can England keep their grip on the European Championship trophy? Italy await the winners in the semi-finals next Tuesday. And fingers crossed for the Lionesses. But extra time is ticking away. Nearly 2 minutes into the second half of it. And penalties draw ever closer. Adjemang has brought it down. Square ball to Rousseau. Midway inside her own half. Back it goes now to Greenwood. Greenwood, England's number 5, looks up and fizzes a high ball over halfway. Again, no England shirt anywhere near it really. Sweden go back to Falk, and Falk clears herself high up into the dark night sky. The ball bounces out of play. England throw in front of an England flag on the far side. Lots of teams really well represented in terms of the England flags around the ground. There's a Reading flag behind Niamh Charles at the moment, who hoists the ball down the left towards Adjemang. She slides in, pokes it back towards Charles. Another England throw. The ball took a deflection. The goal here, you would think, enough to win it for either team in the second half of extra time. 2-2.
Yeah, and I really like the way that England set up as well. Rousseau, I spoke about her dropping into that kind of false number 9-10 role, and she's done that. You know, the bodies that we've got going forward now, I think, you know, goals galore I see. We just need one chance.
James has peeled away to the right, and she nearly wins it off Nilden in the corner of the penalty area, but she was late on Nilden, and that will be a free kick to the Swedes.
Credit to Lauren James as well, though, Joe. I'm sorry to go on about it, but you know, I think for her to have missed so much football and to be out injured coming into this tournament, and then to kind of show, you know, the kind of intensity that she has shown. Yes, you could say she wasn't involved in the first 70 minutes, but her maturity to get the team back in the game and now be that kind of willing runner. Yeah, I really have been impressed with the shape that she's got herself into coming into this tournament.
Here is Angeldal for Sweden, and the referee gets in the way of Clinton this time, and that nearly led to a Sweden attack. Well, the referee surely got to stop it there.
3 times that's happened now, and it's not good enough. You know, that could lead to a goal, and we're talking about quarter-final of a European Championship.
Sweden throw, as it is, just over the halfway line. You are with Talk Sport late into the evening in Zurich. The Stadion Letzigrund. 20 past 11. 2-2 in extra time. Here come England in the 109th minute. Rousseau trying to carry it forward. Angeldal, tireless, gets back, and the free kick is given to Sweden. England fans in front of us out of their seats in disbelief.
I'm sorry to say it, but I think it's the correct call. You know, actually, probably wouldn't have even given it a foul, would have said just play on. But Angeldal does really well there to actually really about they're showing the highlight there, the ref getting in the way of Clinton. But the ref hasn't had a great night tonight, let's be honest. I think she's made some poor calls either way, and it's a big occasion. You know, we talk about pressure on the players, there's pressure on the referee as well.
10 minutes of extra time to go. England dare not concede now. Ball is cleared upfield by Charles. Rousseau's headed back towards her own goal. Yanogi has brought it out of the air against the hesitant Bronze, and she shoots. Hits Morgan, deflects away, comes back to Nilden, she crosses, Hutting! Header over the top. England survive just. There was a deflection on the header. It is a Sweden corner.
I tell you what, that is one player you don't want the ball going into, is Hurtig. She is so good in the air. She's come on a sub and scored 2 goals, and credit to Niamh Charles to even get that little dink. She knew she wasn't going to win the first header, but she did enough to stop Hurtig scoring.
Niamh Charles might have kept England level. 2-2. 10 minutes of extra time left. Sweden corner, Angeldal into the near post, headed up into the air by Morgan, not very far. James with a poor defensive header. Sweden have worked it back up wide to Angeldal, who puts it into the area. Up goes Hampton, can't get there. Clinton heads it away for England, drops the edge of the penalty area. Sweden have it again, back in by Nilden. Her delivery's causing chaos, and the block is made by Charles in the area. That looked goal bound. The assistant flag's on the far side, and the free kick is given to the Lionesses. Almighty scramble in the 6-yard box. And England fans breathe a sigh of relief again for now.
Yeah, well done to England. You know, it's ugly football, but you have to do it. You have to put your body on the line, and they're doing that. You know, it's cross after cross, and that is what Sweden love. You know, that's their whole game plan. That's their strength. But well done to England to get those crosses out and actually end up winning a foul and soak up that pressure that they did so well then.
Header away by Nilden of Sweden, who has been very good actually since coming on. Only been on the pitch a match of minutes. 8.5 minutes of extra time to play. And England's best hope at the moment looks like penalties. They cannot get hold of the ball. 2-2.
No, Sweden have been very good. You know, they actually look like they've found their composure a little bit, and actually with a Sweden that we saw for the first 70 minutes.
Chested by Bronze, back to Hampton, and Hampton can slow it down. England's number one. England fought with such tenacity to get back in it in normal time, but the tough test that many predicted coming into this quarter-final has certainly come to fruition, even if the Lionesses do get through to the semis. And at the moment, feels 50-50.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. It is 50-50. I think penalties, you can't ever really say a team's a firm favourite, but this game would have taken a lot out of them going into the semi-final.
Back it goes to Falk of Sweden. We are in the 113th minute now. 2-2, yet to really see a clear-cut chance at extra time. England's Alex Greenwood heads the ball away to Beth Mead, the number 9. She hits it early towards James. Falk comes out to the edge of the penalty area, and that's just steered into the box, that ball in the end, so no threat to the goalkeeper.
All you need is one moment though, Joe. You know, and as a player, I've been lucky enough, you know, in an FA Cup 118th minute to get the winner, and I know how special that feels. So all they need is 1 minute. You know, and you might not think that the moment's coming, but it will come for one of these teams, and it's which player can take that opportunity.
England beat Spain, remember, in extra time, quarters in 2022. The winning goal came in the first half of extra time. 2 apiece here against Sweden in Zurich. England throw halfway line in front of Serena Wiegman.
Yeah, both teams look tired now. And it's hard, you know, it's the kind of fatigue now, the fatigue levels that these players will be feeling. Some will be cramping, you know, some will be absolutely thinking about penalties right now. That will be in their heads.
Bronze throw, up to Adjaman, flicks the ball infield. Russo's after it, but it's cleared away by Bjorn before she can get there. Greenwood with a nervy pass straight to the feet of Yanogi, who's wriggled away from Beth Mead. She sends a floated ball high up the left, and Blackstenius tiring a bit, beaten by Morgan quite easily in the end. Back it goes to Hampton. It remains 2-2. One of the previous meetings between these two sides, arguably one of the most high profile, was the final in '84, which Sweden won on penalties.
Doesn't look good as well for Blackstenius. I think she's pulled her hamstring. I've just seen her signal there to the bench, and it looks like she might be coming off. That sprint in behind.
There'll be a throw to England here. On the halfway line, Bronze will take, and Blackstenius is holding her hamstring again. You're absolutely right, Tash. She's going to have to come off.
That's a massive blow. And again, you talk about that from players though. You're into extra time. Why are you playing the ball in behind for her to sprint onto where she's fatigued? You know, so again, we talk about those key players that are missing. She's one you want to stay on for a penalty, but also going further onto this tournament, you hope it's nothing serious.
Well, she didn't look bad there as she won it back on the halfway line, and Sweden come forward with Angeldal. Angled pass down the right-hand side. Chances on for the cross here for Sweden. It's delivered high by Jakobsen. Hits Charles. Corner Sweden. 5 minutes before those penalty kicks loom large. 2-2. There is still time for a winner in extra time. Rebecca Blomqvist is going to come on. Had a great World Cup actually. 3 goals in 6 World Cup appearances for the Swedes in 2023. Sweden were semi-finalists at the World Cup in 2023, beaten by the eventual champion Spain, potentially Sweden. They go into major tournaments and they go deep into them. Corner by Nilden for Sweden, headed away, almost looked like it was going to go in, and there were 2 players down, 3 down, including Hampton and Greenwood for England, plus Sweden's Eriksson. Beth Mead headed that away at the back post. I don't know if it was going in or not, the corner direct. Here come the England physios yet again.
I mean, all the players now. I think Hannah Hampton might have got caught in the face there. Greenwood looks like she's done something to her shoulder. I mean, they're soldiers right now, all of them are.
Well, this is the type of spirit and grit that England are having to show at this stage. Off goes Blackstenius for Sweden. On comes Blomqvist, who you would have thought will be part of the penalty shootout should it come to that. And it looks increasingly like that is where the fate of this semi-final is going to be determined. We'll find out shortly who ultimately will face Italy.
Yeah, and I think when you look at the 11 left on the pitch, we talk about who's going to be favourites here, and I really do think England are favourites now. With I see the key players for Sweden now have gone off. Really, Angeldal is probably one of the key ones that's been kept on, but apart from that, yeah, Blackstenius, Asllani, key players. I'm actually surprised as well that Benison hasn't had more of an involvement. You know, she's someone that, you know, is prolific, is a real creator. But also Lucy Bronze strapping her quad, and you know, this is worrying for either team that can progress through. You know, you've still got 2 games, a semi-final and a final, and there's a lot of players now that have strappings on ankles, quads, hammy injuries. You don't want to see that.
Bronze strapping on. Hampton, I think, might need. Well, Chloe Kelly ran onto the pitch with a fresh goalkeeper's shirt. Don't know whether Hampton is maybe bleeding from the nose as she was caught in that collision in the box, but a long delay late in extra time here. 118 minutes nearly on the clock. England 2-2 with Sweden in Zurich. Hampton still being treated, and England players largely now have walked away from the 6-yard box.
Yeah, it looks like Hampton's got caught on her nose there. You can just see that she's got some tissue stuffed up that right nostril, and it does look like it's still bleeding. And you can see the gels on the sideline here as well, so players are coming over and getting anything they possibly can to help them get through.
Hampton gets a new green jersey. England fans left wondering at the moment whether they can book their flights and trains and hotels in Geneva next Tuesday for the semi-final, or will it be heartache? Hampton running repairs, New Jersey, as I say, and she might be about to become even more important to England in just a few minutes' time.
Yeah, I think as well, what we wished for before this game was that it would be an entertaining game. You know, did England turn up for the first 70? No, but the reaction and the entertainment that both teams have showed, you know, for the duration of this game, it has been a really strong spectacle with good quality football from both teams.
Hampton ready to go again. So, just over a minute of extra time to go, and there'll be 2 or 3 minutes added, you would have thought, at the very end of that. 2-2 it remains. Sweden do seem to be finishing extra time the stronger, and they've got the pacey Blomqvist chasing a ball towards the corner flag. That's eluded her. England throw. Lucy Bronze will take. Do England look like here, Tash Dowie, that maybe they are settling for penalties?
Yeah, they are. In my opinion, they haven't been as direct. They haven't been looking to hit Agyman. I don't think anyone wants to go to penalties, but right now they don't want to lose it in extra time.
Ball is bouncing towards the dead ball line, and England get a goal kick. In fact, they don't. The referee has pulled it back, and Sweden look to have a free kick here in the left wing position. I'm not entirely sure what it's been given for, but it is a free kick on the near side touchline.
No, me neither, but then I don't also see a lot of England players complaining, so that makes me think that maybe it was the correct call.
We're about to go into added time in extra time at the very end of it. Angeldal flights in the free kick, punched away by Hampton. 3 added minutes at the end of extra time. It's that or penalties unless someone scores here. 2-2. Hammered upfield by England's Lucy Bronze. Safety first. Over halfway, Mead will chase it down. She's blocked off Nilden. Beth Mead raiding down the right hand side, and Nilden with a shove in the back. She's surely caught Mead. Free kick England. Great position in added time and extra time at 2-2.
Well done, Beth Mead. I tell you what, strong strength here, and then gets that little extra nick. It's so clever. She's off balance, but she just knows that if she can get that touch, she's going to draw the foul, and she's been magnificent. And I tell you what, if England do progress, she might be in my starting 11 come the semi-final, because the impact that she's had v Wales and tonight has been brilliant.
Charles is forward, good in the air. Greenwood and of course Bronze, who's already scored one header tonight. Adjumang lurks, so does Russo. Kelly for England chips the ball into the box. Up go the heads. Russo far post shoots and it's gone wide. She drilled it wide on the angle. A minute and 15 seconds for the 3 added, and it's 2-2.
That's who you want it to fall to, and it's so unlike Russo. You know, she's normally so composed and calm in those positions and in those areas, but she just snatches at it really poorly.
Nearly halfway through added time and extra time, and it does look as though penalties are going to be the outcome. Falk clears away for Sweden, headed forward by England's Clinton, and then Bronze with a brave diving header caught by Yanogi on halfway. Now Bronze goes to ground. England have needed so many running repairs in extra time. Remember, the captain Williamson's gone off. There have been issues for James, Hampton, Greenwood, and now Lucy Bronze. England have barely got anything left in the tank.
And everyone asked Lucy Bronze yesterday, what was her why? Why did she play for England? And her why was, she said, that she just wants to work hard and she will give everything to play for this country, and she's shown that tonight.
Hannah Hampton is going to take this free kick. It is inside the Sweden half. Hampton miles out of a goal. Sweden with virtually everyone back. England with plenty forward. Hampton long 2-2. Last minute of extra time. Added time. And it's bounced to Niamh Charles by the corner flag. Pokes it back towards Greenwood. Hurtig slides in. England throw. This is the last chance or it's penalties. 2-2 on TalkSport. Greenwood short to Kelly. Back to Alex Greenwood. Chance for the cross. Adjumang could get there. Punched away. Russo lobs it towards goal and wide. Oh, Alessia Russo. That was the moment to win it for England.
That was the moment. It's an open goal, Joe. You know, it's so not like her. Her body position's wrong again. We talked about her snatching at the last one. She's just got it wrong completely, and that was the chance to win it for England.
The last chance. And now we go to penalties. England's fate in this quarter-final to be decided from the spot. We have seen it so many times at major tournaments involving England in the past, and whether the Lionesses retain the European Championship trophy will be decided by those so often dreaded penalty kicks here in Zurich. Full time, after extra time, Sweden 2, England 2. Alessia Russo, first to break from the crowd for England, in front of the England fans, behind the goal to the right. A good start in a shootout is so important. Can Russo give England one? Right-footed, she does! Past the goalkeeper, right into the corner. Falk gets right, couldn't keep it out.
You don't score a penalty better than that, Joe. That's what I tried to do against you the other day. Side netting, whip, too much pace, too much power, perfection.
And the first task ahead here for Hannah Hampton, England's goalkeeper. Karen Bardsley is the only England goalkeeper to save a penalty in a major tournament shootout. Hannah Hampton hoping to replicate that here. Stepping up for Sweden is Angeldal, who knows English football well. But there's massive pressure on her shoulders now. Right-footed, Hannah Hampton saves! Hampton turns it away, diving to the left-hand side, and she writes some personal history that maybe takes England a big step closer to the semi-finals.
Yeah, reads the body language of the right footer there. I think that's quite obvious as a right footer. You have to open up your body more, and Hannah Hampton does brilliant. It's a good height, it's actually a poor penalty, but she saves it, well done.
So 1-0 to England after one penalty each in the shootout. They have won both their competitive shootouts under Sarina Wiegman. 4-2 in the World Cup round of 16 against Nigeria, 4-2 against Brazil in the Finalissima. Lauren James next up, angled run-up, right-footed, saved! Falkers turned it away. It's a poor penalty from England's Lauren James, who's done so much for her country at Euro 2025, but is denied by the goalkeeper, and now the shootout is back in the balance.
I'm just trying to see here because I'm not sure if the keeper went a bit early, if I'm being honest, Joe.
Was
so this
she
is
off her
going to be
line?
interesting. If she was off her line, she's talking to referee. It doesn't look like she is. Right, straight away, too casual for Lauren James. I know that's her style of play, but you have to have a bit more intensity in your play there, so it's a poor penalty.
Hard take for Lauren James. It could yet be England's night still, but Sweden with a chance to level the scores. Boos and whistles from the England fans all around Zurich, holding up the England flags behind the goal. Sijoti Olma has smashed it into the top corner emphatically, and Sweden are level 1-1 in the shootout.
Wow. I mean, I tell you what, I can't tell you how much bottle that takes to lace that top bins. You don't score a penalty better than that. I think she's even hit the camera. That's perfection.
Beth Mead, England legend, will take the Lionesses' third penalty kick. So often a player for the big moment, Beth Mead in an England shirt. How is she feeling, the number 9, as she places the ball on the spot here in Zurich against the goalkeeper high on confidence? Here goes Mead, right-footed, and it's saved again. Falk is there again. Guess is right, and England are under enormous pressure now. The goalkeeper has saved 2 in a row. It's another nervy penalty, this time from Beth Mead, and it's 1-1 with Sweden still to take their third spot kick.
And that's where it's so hard, because Beth Mead obviously has her favourite side, but the keeper's gone early and she needs to see that. Again, good height, poor penalty.
Here comes the captain of Sweden, Magdalena Eriksson, the former Chelsea player, turns away. It's a short run-up, and this to give Sweden the advantage after 3 penalty kicks. Hammers it left-footed, it's the post! It's come off the post, and England have respite. Eriksson drives the ball against the base of the woodwork, and breathe, Lionesses fans. 1-1, 3 penalty kicks in.
I think it's just showing you how nerve-wracking this moment is. You know, 4 misses already with only 2 to go for each team. Massive pressure on these players now.
2 penalties remain. Alex Greenwood has scored in each of England's 2 penalty shootout victories under Serena Wiedmann. Can she make it the hat-trick here? Left-footed, and it's saved again! Incredible! 3 saves in a row from Jennifer Falk. Heroic from the Sweden goalkeeper, and Greenwood walks away inconsolable. 1-1 it remains, and England now are going to hope that Hannah Hampton can bail them out again.
And again, the keeper's read it. It's that left footer across goal. And the problem is when the keeper does guess right, if you don't get it low or high, if you get it at that height where it's savable, which Greenwood has done, it's a good save, but it's a good height, which Beth Mead was as well.
The nerves and the drama of penalty kicks, and it seems like it's really got to England here. Hannah Hampton hoping to save them again, but she can't. It's tucked into the net. Sweden have scored through Bjorn, and so 2-1 up, and this is the definition of a pressure penalty for Chloe Kelly. If she misses, it's all over.
Well, I tell you what, Bjorn's celebrating like they've already won it. Let's hope that doesn't come back to bite them. But everyone knows how Chloe Kelly takes her penalties. It's the funny run-up, it's laced, it's right down the middle. So whether or not the keeper's brave enough to stand, or whether Kelly changes her mind, this is it now.
Chloe Kelly, who has scored winning penalties in England's last 2 shootouts, this is to keep them in contention. She has to score, and then Sweden have to miss. First things first. Kelly takes a big deep breath, having placed the ball on the spot. The player who scored the winning goal in the final in 2022. England's hopes here rest on her shoulders, and she scores! The goalkeeper went the wrong way, but Sweden still have match point, 2-2.
I mean, I'm smiling right now because did you see Chloe Kelly smile at the goalkeeper? This is a penalty that is about to either take you out of the Euros or take you through, depending on what Sweden do. But to have the confidence to smile at the goalkeeper, wow.
Here is the moment, And it's going to be the goalkeeper, Jennifer Falk, who has saved 3 England spot kicks, will place the ball on the spot with the chance to send them home. You have rarely seen scenes like this in international football. Goalkeeper against goalkeeper. Falk over! Onto the running track. The gamble does not pay off. What an extraordinary moment. 2-2 after 5 penalties each. She blasted it over like it was a goal kick.
I mean, I can't believe what I've just witnessed there. First of all, the goalie stepping up. Then I'm thinking she must be good if she's the 5th penalty taker. But she's got that all wrong. The nerves have got the better of her. The technique is awful.
Well, England clinging on yet again by the skin of their teeth this time. Grace Clinton will take the next penalty. On as a sub in extra time, and it's saved again! Falk, 4th save in the shootout, again to her right, again a poor penalty, from hero to villain to hero again.
I mean, I want to say, give the goalkeepers credit here, but I don't think I've seen a worse set of penalties in a long time. They've been good heights, they've been slow, no pace. That was a penalty taken by a player that didn't look confident, to be honest. That was a penalty taken by a player that isn't in the top 5.
And now Sweden have given the ball to Sofia Jakobsen. It's match point again for the Swedes. 2-2. This is their 6th penalty of the shootout. England's hopes rest on this kick. Jakobsen, and it's off the post! This is one of the most extraordinary shootouts in the history of the Women's Euros. Jakobsen struck it right-footed, and Hampton got something on it, I think, to turn it onto the post. 2-2. England was staring on the brink of elimination again, and they're still in it. And now Lucy Bronze hobbles forward. What a fingertip from Hampton.
I honestly can't believe what I'm witnessing right now. It is absolute madness, and the pressure that these players under is so obvious to see now. Now, who is going to be the hero? It's got to come sooner rather than later.
2-2. 6 penalties each have been taken. England's Lucy Bronze hammers it into the net. That's more like it. A brilliant contribution from England's Lucy Bronze. England legend through and through. And now the pressure is on the Swedes, who have to score.
I mean, it's a phenomenal penalty, it really is. And I think that just sums up Lucy Bronze. Pure passion. You can see her ripping the tape off her quad, throwing it on the ground. Phenomenal.
So this really could be it. Sweden's last hope. And it is a big moment for the youngster. Holmberg. It's over! England are in the semi-finals! They expected, somehow, from somewhere, the Lionesses have delivered. Their grip on the Euros trophy remains alive. They have won an epic penalty shootout, 3-2 in Zurich. Geneva, here they come. Holmberg with the final penalty kick, and the Lionesses see it sail over the bar. They race to celebrate with Hannah Hampton. It is the miracle of the tournament so far, and the Lionesses are into the semi-finals once again. Proper England, you bet they are. And the possibility of becoming the first England side to win a major trophy overseas is somehow still alive. England by the skin of their teeth. Russo, Kelly and Bronze the scorers in the shootout. Twice England thought they were going home. Twice they managed to survive. First, the penalty from Eriksson coming back off the post for Sweden. Then the goalkeeper Falk whacked it over the top. followed up by the poor penalty from Holmberg, and England are heading to Geneva. 2 games from glory again, and like Lazarus, England came back in normal time to make it 2-2, and they have got themselves through a quarter-final penalty shootout that will live in the memory of England fans forever. 2-2 after extra time, and would you believe it, England win it 3-2 on penalties.